Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. This is Manchester United versus Arsenal. The team news is about to come in the next couple of minutes, and I'm just watching Man City Everton actually, and they've just scored a goal. It's 2-1, so there's still 20 minutes to go in that game, and good little bit of running there, and I think it comes to Richarlison on the back post to tap it in. So 2-1 in that game. But look, the big game tonight, it's Manchester United against Arsenal, and it is at the Emirates, and that is what you came here for. You came here for that one, and that's what we're here for. So team news is going to come in the next minute. I think the main thing that everybody's going to be talking about is whether and if Paul Pogba does start this game of football today. And I think that I don't know. I think he's going to start. I mean, I've got no inclination other than somebody said to me he will be part of it for them today. So look, I hope that he is, because I think it makes United better. Obviously, if we've got Paul Pogba, so I hope that he is going to play. But let's wait and see what happens with that. I turned on in time. Hooray, says Xander Vicky. And we need to win after Chelsea drop points, says Vandy Candy. And I think this is spot on. I think with regards to United, we can win. We're 2 points behind Chelsea in the top four race. Spurs lost. Wolves lost. So I just think whoever's consistent will get the... We'll get this top four spot, and I don't trust United. I don't think we've got any reason to trust Manchester United as United fans. I think they've let us down a lot this last couple of years, and I think the squad depth is a concern. But there is an opportunity to grab hold of it. So the team news is in, and there is no Paul Pogba. He's not even part of the squad, which is just massively disappointing. So there will be a change to the team. It's Matic where Pogba is, but apart from that, we've got the team pretty much right. Lingard starts instead of Pereira, who also doesn't even... Well, he is on the bench, actually. So I'm a little bit worried about that team, I've got to be honest with you. What the excuse for Paul Pogba is going to be, we will obviously have a look in a moment, but it really does give... Arsenal, look, I can't say one thing and then say the other. I think I was talking to Drawty this afternoon and I said, look, to be honest with you, I think if we do have Paul Pogba fit, then we will win this game. If we don't have Paul Pogba fit, then we give an opportunity for Arsenal to win the midfield battles. And I think that that's where the game, most football games are won and lost in that midfield battle. So no Paul Pogba, which is really disappointing from a United point of view, and it will give them a definite boost. So I'm just going to change the team for you, because obviously this is a predicted team. There's no way you're going to know the team for definite anymore. United are quite good at keeping it a secret. But I'm also a little bit disappointed, I've got to be honest, and say that I'm a little bit disappointed that we've got no Greenwood starting. I've got nothing against Dan James. That is the correct team on the screen now. I've got nothing against Dan James, but I think Greenwood should start. I think Greenwood's been the better player out of two players that have done relatively well. He played superbly in the game against Newcastle on Boxing Day, rested for Burnley to give Dan James again, and then in the Arsenal game he goes with James. I think Greenwood should have started, but their weak back, their left back is not a left back, so maybe they've looked at an more orthodox, direct right winger in that situation. So it's not the end of the world, but I would have preferred that. So the team is De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire and Shaw. I think we all knew that would be the case. Fred, Matic and Lingard as the midfield three. Lingard, I said this and I've been proven right. I knew he was going to play Lingard in this game because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, whether it's going to work out or not, he's Mystic Meg. He believes in fate, and I think it was absolutely inevitable that he was going to play Lingard in this game because Lingard's got a good record at the Emirates. So that's what he's done with that. And obviously James and Rashford and Martial as the front three. No place for Greenwood, who's on the bench. And the bench consists of Romero, Jones, Williams and Young. So we've got two fullbacks on the bench again with a centre-back. Andreas, Pereira, Mata and Greenwood. And I don't think that's a very good bench again. You know, Gomez and Chong have travelled with the squad, and again we're putting people like Juan Mata on the bench. But look, it is what it is. I think the team news is always going to cause conversations. Of course it will. But the reality is that if we can win tonight, then we will go into the top four position. We're not going to the top four position. Sorry, we will be 2 points off fourth because they have dropped points themselves. So I'm interested to see how it's going to go with this game today. I'm just going to get you the Arsenal team news as well, because that is something that is obviously very relevant. So they've got Leno in goal, Maitland-Niles, Socrates, David Luiz, Kolasinac is back. So they actually have, I mean, that to me makes it even less sense playing Dan James, because I thought Saka would play there, who's a left winger, because they've had Tierney and Kolasinac out, but Kolasinac is actually back. They've gone then with Torreira, Xhaka and Ozil in the midfield three with Pepe, Lacazette, Aubameyang. So I think Arsenal haven't been doing this. Arsenal have not been doing this. They've not been going with a team like this. They've been having Nelson in the team and Pepe on the bench, and I think they've gone with quite a strong team there. So Aubameyang, Pepe, Lacazette, Ozil, Xhaka and Torreira. I'm concerned that they'll grab hold of that midfield against Matic and Lingard and Fred. I think Fred's going to have his work cut out. I've read Woodward is no longer involved in transfers. This can only be a good thing if true. Happy New Year, Mark. Wishing you a good one, says Gordon Maria. Happy New Year. Obviously, Transfer Daily's back now, so you got mine this morning. But what I run that is by Foden, and I don't know whether he's got a penalty. No, it looked like a tackle. We've also had a super chat from Simon Cliff. He says, Mark, realistically, my opinion is that we will not sign anyone in January, as it takes Ed more than 4 weeks to do business. I don't trust the board. Actions speak louder than words. Thoughts? Exactly. I totally agree. And Emperor says, Pogba put Real Madrid logo on Snapchat. Probably sold then. Well, look, I don't know what's going on with Paul Pogba. If anybody gets Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, we'll keep an eye out on what his quotes are going to be. I said, was it about 3 weeks ago, that Pogba will not be leaving in January, and this is the line that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said a week ago. So look, you can never say never in football, but Manchester United have categorically said that Paul Pogba's not leaving in January. So what situation have we got going on now? I find it rather amazing that Paul Pogba plays 45 minutes against half an hour or 45 minutes against Newcastle nearly a week ago, and then is not able to even make the matchday squad for Burnley and Arsenal. It just doesn't make any sense. And yet again, you've got to say with Pogba, what's the truth? What is the truth? Because have we mishandled him again? Have we rushed him back for that Newcastle game and now we've lost him for Arsenal? I never expected him to be part of the team for the Newcastle game, and he was. Or the Watford game, and he was. And I think, you know, that Watford one was probably the biggest one with Pogba. I never expected him to be involved against Watford. He played a bit against Watford. He plays a bit against Newcastle 4 days later, and then we lose him for another week. It doesn't. Have we rushed him back too quick, or is there a bigger issue? What a weak midfield and bench. Weird with Pogba, says Bogdan Gavrila. I mean, what is everybody's thoughts on the Paul Pogba situation? Because I don't think he's going anywhere, and this is, you know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said this last April about last summer, and so Pogba did not get sold. So I can't see him being sold, but if he's not playing for the team, and let's not forget, Mino Raiola has come out with comments berating Manchester United in the last 24 hours again, saying he wouldn't advise a client to come to this club because they ruin players. It's looking bad. The Machine 94 says the Rants and Flex combined 11 was intense. I believe he has chosen Matic the dead weight over Pogba. I'm going 2-1 Man United, says the Machine 94. Well, Pogba's not even on the bench. which I find odd. Come on, Mark, let's use your clout. Let's try and get Glazers out trending on Twitter, please. Can't handle this crap board anymore, says Kuno9T. Look, if everybody's on Twitter and you want to all, we've got 12,500 people watching here. If a lot of people are on Twitter, then please do just tweet out hashtag Glazers out. You might get it trending. By all means, crack on. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner, of course. Lots and lots going on in 2020 on the United Stand. If you are new, fantastic community we've got here, live every night at 8 o'clock. We've got the fan cams tonight. We'll have the AFTV boys on here as well. Transfer Daily. Look, there's loads going on, and we've got you covered on the United Stand, so make sure you join in with the community. Pogba got dropped for Iola comments, says Rudy Cox. Well, look, what's the solution when you're going to do that then? Done with Pogba missing too many games, inconsistent, moody and expensive. Let's cash in and move on to players with less egos. Cheers, Marks, as United 2-1. That's from Wecking Wenchers. But look, what I would say on Pogba is, and there's a lot of people having their say, what I would say about Pogba is he wanted to go in the summer and the club kept him here. Now, that is up to them to do that, but he was kept here in the summer, sorry. So I do not really understand what the situation is with Paul Pogba and how that how this has all transpired. Every time Pogba is left out of the squad, especially a game of this magnitude, it makes me wonder what's really going on here. What is going on, says Josh Sutton. And I think Pogba is what his wife, with his wife as she gave birth, says Jacob Sands. I think that was a few months ago, unless he's had a second one. I don't know. But I don't understand it. And I think that whether you like Pogba or not, Manchester United have caused this situation by not letting him go in the summer because they're so crap at transfers. They couldn't get business done to let him go and get replacements in. So I believe that's what's happened. But the Arsenal lineup, cracked gamer, is Leno in goal, Maitland-Niles, Luis and Socrates. Kolasinac plays at left back, Xhaka, Ozil and Torreira as a midfield three, Aubameyang, Pepe and Lacazette as a front three. So I think they've gone about as strong as they can do, and they haven't picked a team like this in a while. And I do worry about Manchester United's midfield. Have to take advantage of Chelsea and Tottenham dropping points, says Chunk. And Ollie said on MUTV, Pogba is injured for a few weeks, says Robbie Oglieve. Well, I mean, look, if that's true, then we've done it again, haven't we? We've done it again. We've rushed him back too early, and he's got himself injured again. So I don't know whether that is true or not, but it's massively disappointing if it is. And I just don't know what to say in relation to that. It's hard to grasp the situation with Manchester United when we are doing things like that, but it is what it is, I suppose. The Sebson says Ollie probably under guidance to protect Pogba's market value in by insisting there's no issue. And Philip Burtonwood, from day one, Raiola is poison. He works for Pogba. These comments are illustrated from the player himself. Should have went in the summer, dragging the club down. Well, the club should have let him go in the summer. That's what should have happened, and I will stand by that. I've said it many a time. Thanks for the contribution, Josh Wood. Let's see if we can just get an official line on this while we are live, because in fact, what I'll do is, if I do it off my phone, I can also keep you live comments people going as well, because we've got lots coming in. On Instagram, they said he will play, so like, I don't know, says Lucky. I was told that he was down in London. I was told that there was that post from Pogba last night of him driving down. I was told this morning that he's on his way to London and he's going to play. So, look, I don't know. Alligator, the only thing United are announcing in January is a new Lingard contract, mark my words. I tell you what, if Lingard scores today, they'll announce the contract. I actually believe that Lingard's already signed the contract. They're just waiting for a moment where they can get a little bit of positivity of it. We dodged the bullet with pub team hiring Jose up the Arsenal, says Zayn Mayassi. And newest member is Kazi Red Devil. Welcome to the club, mate. You can join the United Stand Members Club by clicking the join button. Utterly pointless keeping Pogba. One cameo since September. It's nonsense. The guy don't want to be at the club. Move him on this month, says Stephen B. Harry. But this is, I think this is where I would say it's a little bit unfair. I think it's unfair because I think that we have a situation with Pogba whereby he wanted to go in the summer and the club forced him to stay. So when the club force him to stay, they've got to take responsibility if it all falls apart. And I think they definitely got it wrong. George Carl says he predicted the right team. Let me have a look anyway. Let's have a quick look here and see if we can get a grasp of what's happening with Pogba. I think it's very disappointing that we've got to play Matic. If we don't sign anybody... I mean, look, Vintage United on Twitter, who I quite like, says, I won't lie, I'm not confident for the game tonight, especially with no Pogba or McTominay. First half, Arsenal looked decent against Chelsea on Sunday, and our record against the bottom half sides isn't been great this season. Hopefully we get the win, though. Exactly, and I think that is true. Let's see if we can get some... clarity on this. I'm just trying to find out. Ollie Pogba, he's injured. He's feeling some discomfort in his ankle. He'll be out for a few weeks, definitely. That's from MUFC. MUTV. I mean, it's absolutely stunning, isn't it? So, I can't believe that. I don't think he should have played for Watford. He'd literally only trained 3 days. Being out for 3 months. Shit fitness department strikes again. It's it just baffles me, and I know a lot of people say, "Oh no, there's a bigger picture to this," but look, I don't think there is a bigger picture because he's not leaving in January. He's clearly injured, and I think yet again the club. Look, if Pogba's out for a few weeks and McTominay's out for a few weeks, where is the transfer in January? You can't, you cannot not sign somebody now. You just cannot go and sign nobody now. It's a joke. And this is what annoys me about United. We get ourselves in this situation and I'm like, what the hell is going on? What is going on? Like, this was always going to be the problem, wasn't it? With United this season. We said it in the summer. I couldn't believe we came out of that summer transfer window with no midfielders, and now it's costing us. It's costing us now. Like, no McTominay, no Pogba for a few weeks. We're playing bloody Man City next week on Tuesday. We may as well not turn up. We've got no McTominay and we've got no Pogba for the Man City games. They're going to just destroy us. Like, there is no hope in those games now. Well, there's always hope, of course. We did it in PSG. I can't say that. But I really do get pissed off with the board of Manchester United. They've put us in such a ridiculous situation. They forced a player who didn't want to be here to stay, and it's cost us. He's hardly kicked a ball for us. And we didn't buy midfielders. And whenever anyone gets injured, we're playing bloody Matic and Lingard. Thoughts on Jedson Fernandez rumours, Mark, says Ryan Fraser. Well, he's a midfielder. I mean, look, I would happily take him because he's a midfielder. I don't know whether he's going to work out, but I would take him. Ollie, the PE teacher against Pep's protege. Aubameyang hat-trick, says Amy. I tell you what, I think there's a lot of people in the live comments who are a little bit... concerned tonight about this. Pogba's Snapchat pic of Real Madrid with 3 dots, says Spencer Grigel. I don't even believe Pogba's actually on Snapchat, so I don't know about that. Delo needs to be given a chance, says Jack Cunliffe. He's injured, mate. Ollie in his dream job and does not care about the club, says Marky. Which club wants to sign Pogba? Who wants a loyal player like that? Talk about reducing his market value, says Anders Este Jacobson. Well, look, you know what? We can all speculate about things, but can I just say this? As things stand here, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has said that Paul Pogba is injured and he's injured, he's feeling discomfort in his ankle and he'll be out for a few weeks definitely. So what I read about that is we've rushed him back. He was out for 3 months. And let me just take you back to this. Before the Watford game, I did the preview and I said there's no way Paul Pogba's playing. On the Saturday we heard he was part of the squad. He'd been training for 3 days. 3 days after being out for 3 months, and we rushed him back for Watford. We never should have done that. We never should have done that. And now we've paid the price again. It's like playing him when he was injured against Arsenal last time when he was out for 3 months. I think we brought him back too early, and I can't disagree with people who say there might be a bigger picture here. But I can't also move away from the fact that our fitness department is a disgrace. So, people will believe what they want to believe. If we don't sign anyone in January, then the fan base should riot, says Jay Singh. Lingard and Matic are finished at the top level. No signings in January. We are finished. I'm worried about the midfield today. I've got to be honest with you. I'm worried about the midfield, and that's the main thing going into this game. My score prediction was that United were going to win 3-0. And I think that I have to totally and utterly rectify that and say that I don't see us winning tonight. I think we can get a draw, but I don't see where the creativity is coming from. I think our front three is very dangerous, and we might be able to hit Arsenal on the break, but that midfield hasn't got creativity. Lingard's got no goals and no assists in a year in the Premier League. Matic couldn't assist a cat. And Fred is going to have the whole game on his shoulders. Surely we can sign Neves, both even, says Pete Squire. And Pogba does have an official Snapchat. All you have to do is Google Pogba, says Hazy Days. Look, I don't know what's going on. I mean, his agent, Mino Raiola, who said only 2 weeks ago, I speak for my client, has come out and said that he wouldn't advise anyone to come to our club. Ozil and Pogba both overpaid, lazy. They should just go on Love Island, says Amy Assia. But at least Ozil's turning out for you. Call me cynical, says Josh Sutton, but I'm seeing similarities to Lukaku's exit. Should be back soon. I don't think Fred can hold the midfield on his own with Matic alongside him. I think we can all agree that Manchester United in the summer should have let Paul Pogba go, and they should have bought midfielders. And many of us said that at the time. But unfortunately, when you are run by plonkers, and that's what Manchester United are, you then run the risk of ineptitude in the season, which is what we are seeing, because we don't have a midfield, and we haven't had a midfield all season, and we are relying on players like Fred and McTominay to come back or to find form. And Fred's done that, and McTominay's done that, but beyond them, I think that we are we're struggling, aren't we? And I think that I'm concerned. But let's see how we get on. It's a game of football at the end of the day. Mojo says, I'd rather have Carrick put on his boots and come out of retirement. Our midfield is missing. And Jay Singh says, this team beat Man City, so I don't see why we can't beat this Arsenal team apart from McTominay. This is the same the team that beat City. Come on, United. I know, but that's like saying, apart from the third wheel, apart from one of my meals on a... get my words out. When you say this is the same team that beat Man City, the only players missing that is McTominay, that's like replacing a wheel with a bag of cement. Matic, McTominay, very, very different. You can't just say, it's only one player. It's their midfield. But look, Arsenal are a bottom half of the table team. It's disappointing about Pogba. You just have to go with what you've got. I think for me, the thing that disappoints me the most, and I did keep saying this all season, is that I knew we were going to have problems with the lack of investment in the midfield, and it could cost us points today, but let's see. And let's not forget, we haven't won 3 Premier League games in a row this season yet. So the Glazers are Prats, I'm saying 1-3, but concerned, says Football Fan TV. Yeah, let's wait and see what happens with regards to that. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, Pogba's injured, everybody. Jose Mourinho. Pogba's injured. It's been confirmed by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and he's going to be out for a few weeks. So you get a player back, and then he disappears again. I mean, what can you say? What can you say? Far too many things are going United's way for us to win tonight. A lot of people are saying, well, they were going our way. I fully expected to see Paul Pogba playing. But looking at the team we've put out, I mean, look, what I really want to say, what I want to say to you lot as well is, I mean, would you? When I first saw Dan James' name come up on the team, I thought, well, maybe they've not got their left backs because Kolasinac and Tierney have been injured, and they're going to play that young lad Saka, who's a winger at left back. We can exploit him with Dan James, but Kolasinac is playing, and I personally think that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has made 2 selections today that I don't agree with. Pereira got an assist against Burnley. How does Lingard justify a start today? I really want to ask that question. I know if he scores, he justifies it, but that's the only thing he can do. Like he doesn't justify a start to me. I don't know why he's starting over Pereira. who played well against Burnley and got an assist. I don't know what Lingard does to deserve to start games. The Glazers are Pratt, I'm saying 1-3, but concerned, says Football Fan TV. Sam Almanson says, we need Fergie to give every person in that club the hairdryer treatment, slap some sense into everybody. Yeah, well, look, a game's not over till it started, is it? So, well, it's a game, you know, that's the wrong words. What I'm trying to say is that we don't know. The proof's in the pudding, isn't it? Let's see what happens when it kicks off. Where is this youth that Ollie keeps banging on about, says Mickey Hind. Well, somebody said to me the other week that Ollie's full of it when it comes to the youth. He talks the talk but doesn't walk the walk. Well, you know, where's Twansebi? Injured. Angel Gomez and Chong could be leaving. So I would have started Greenwood, to be honest. Chelsea drop points again. We must win, says Amas Akramas. But yeah, you're right. We've got to take advantage of it. Gomez and Chong did travel Mojoke, but they're not part of the squad. So end of story. Kickoff is 8 o'clock, so about half an hour away from that. The bench, Dhruv Shah, is Romero, Jones, Williams, Young, Mata, Pereira and Greenwood. So that is the bench. Thanks for the contribution, Thunder FN. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new, by the way. Bottom right hand corner, you can do that there. We have no Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba is injured. That is the official line from Manchester United, that Paul Pogba is injured for this game today. So yeah, that's the way it is. Unfortunately, a lot of people are having different opinions on this. As far as I'm concerned, I just think I put this down to two things. One being how badly run the club is, and they should have let him go in the summer, and we should have had a proper rebuild in the summer instead of keeping a player that doesn't want to be here. And then the second thing I would say is that I just think that our fitness department is a joke, and I think that we've rushed him back, and we didn't need to rush him back. He didn't need to be part of the squad for Watford, and we've done that, and he's come back too early, and he's had a reaction to that same injury. So, but look, I'm not going to lie and say that there's a realistic argument to say that United could well be in a situation whereby Paul Pogba is, what shall I say, gilding the lily a little bit, I suppose, in relation to injuries. But I don't know. I don't know what to say, to be honest with you. I'm quite disappointed that we haven't got Pogba. Did you see the Pogba Snapchat story? Do you think it's real, says Magnus? I don't know. We could be about to work. Look, I don't think Paul Pogba, if I'm absolutely honest with you, I don't think Paul Pogba, to me, strikes me as the sort of player or person that will be unprofessional with regards to Manchester United Football Club. I don't know. I don't think he will. He didn't. There was talk in the summer that he might go off, that he might not go on the tour to Australia, and he did. So I just don't know that Paul Pogba would do that. So and I hope that he hasn't. I hope he hasn't. I hope he's going to be like staying as part of the squad. But you just don't know. You just don't know what's going on. And you know, Mino Raiola has been, when you look at it, I know a lot's been going on. We've all had New Year and that, but when you look at what Mino Raiola has said, he's been very damning of Manchester United Football Club. So I don't know what the situation could be with regards to what's going on with Pogba. Maybe he is going to try and force a move. Maybe he is on strike. But I don't know. I just don't know at the end of the day. I don't think anybody does, and I think that's the sad thing, isn't it? I've got the subscriber counter working anyway now. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right hand corner, and please smash a like on the video. We'll be live with the kickoff in about, well, not the match, but the match chat in half an hour. Bottom right hand corner to subscribe. We've got fan cams after the game. We've got DT and Troops and Robbie coming on for those. We've got live shows every night at 8 o'clock, transfer dailies, loads going on, so get involved. Thunder FN, thanks for the contribution. We've got some super chats. Mark, you might as well get your wrists warmed up, because we are going to be saying bye top four again, especially with the squad depth of a puddle on a wet day, says KFC Chow. Josh Sutton says Ollie needs to invert James and Greenwood's roles. James should be coming off the bench in the last 30 until he earns his place back. Greenwood is mint. I agree with you on that one, Josh. Magic Eye, Mark, what do you think of Mino Raiola's latest comments about Manchester United? Get Lingard out of this team, please. Why do we keep playing this guy? And all throughout pre-season, we were told Lukaku was injured and was eventually sold. Seems very similar with Pogba, says Mojo. Sean Finity, given the Chelsea and Wolves results, 3 points is essential today. We have to start Matic and Lingard. Great Happy New Year, everyone. Sign midfielders, says Sean Finity. I tell you what, I think Lingard has to score today. I just don't get why he's starting. Absolutely no justification for him playing today. To start him. I don't even know. And got an assist at the weekend. But he better score. I mean, Lingard's got to have a good game. And you know what? We used to call him, Wembley. He used to be brilliant at Wembley, didn't he? And then he went all shit there. I think Lingard's been picked today, basically, because he scored here in the past. Pogba should have been let go in the summer itself. Pogba was the main reason for our terrible form towards the end of last season, as he was flirting with Zidane. And from then on, the bad form started, says Varun Chander. Yeah, so Pogba injured, everybody. That's the bottom line. Paul Pogba injured, out for a few weeks. This is coming in from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer himself, that he will not obviously start today, but he is also injured and will be out for a few weeks. So he's not going to be back for the Wolves game away on Saturday evening, which is going to be a very, very difficult game in itself, and neither will Scott McTominay, so that becomes very difficult. I think the Carabao Cup against Manchester City becomes very difficult, because this midfield is, apart from Fred, this midfield, and I don't care what people say, I think that this midfield, apart from Fred, is absolutely terrible, and we just, we haven't got McTominay and Pogba, and we've not had Pogba for most of the season, I accept, but this puts us into a very, very difficult situation, and this comes back on the board. Going Chambers says, Mark, Pogba has put a Real Madrid logo on his story. Absolute joke from him. Get out. Disappointed about Greenwood not playing. Maybe he's trying to force the move. Maybe he is, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has come out and said that Paul Pogba is injured. Maybe that's because Paul Pogba has told him he's injured. Maybe there is a bigger story here at Manchester United. But in the absence of that story, I think it would be wrong. It would be wrong to, start speculating about things that we don't really know. I just think that it always seems to be the way with United. We get some optimism. We get back into a situation where we can get into a top 4 race, and yet again, it's looking like we could, absolutely blow it and slip into obscurity again. But what did I say? The game actually hasn't kicked off yet, so we could still win this game. Rashford's been on fire. Martial's in form. I think Greenwood and James have done well. Obviously, Greenwood's not starting. James is starting, but Greenwood off the bench. Maybe Matic is going to roll back the clock here. Fred's been fantastic. That back four got its first clean sheet. So, look, you never know. But I think we are paying the price of not having a midfield brought in the summer, and I think that will continue to be a problem. Please do share the video if you're watching. There's a share button underneath. You can click and share it on Facebook and on Twitter. That would be appreciated. Get your score predictions in, actually. Does this team and news about Pogba and the strong team that Arsenal have put out, it's a long time since Arsenal have started with Aubameyang, Lacazette and Pepe, I think. I don't think Pepe started at the weekend against Chelsea. I think he started Nelson. So what do you think? A lot of people are going 2-1 Arsenal. I still think that we can win this, of course, but I think I would change my... I thought if Pogba was going to play, we'd dominate the midfield, and I think so many games are won and lost in the midfield that I think that, if I'm going to be absolutely honest, I'm going to predict that Manchester United will draw this game. It would be absolutely terrible to lose it, and I'm hoping that we can we can get it done. But let's see what happens. It's a fake Snapchat account. Pogba isn't that stupid to do something like that, says Luke Mason. I said it was fake, so there we go. Fairly certain it's a fake account that put the Madrid picture up, although I'm not sure. I believe he's injured again. Hello, Mark. Come on, United, and come on, Jay Lings. He's going to have a super year, says Alvin Blocks. And a lot of people saying 2-1 to Arsenal. I think if it does go that way, by the way, it reflects badly on the board. I think that's all I would say about that. It reflects badly on the board because this midfield was never strong enough. It wasn't. 3-1 to Arsenal, says Yaha. Only a win will do for us, but I'm afraid it won't happen, says Sander Vicky. I'll tell you what, it'd be a very impressive win if we do get it, won't it? To do them, and let me just look at that team on my left again. I look at that team and I think it can win. But I see a team that's got a lot to prove. I think Jesse Lingard doesn't deserve to start in this game. And I'm going to be absolutely honest and say, how is he starting today other than he does Michael Jackson dance floor moves at the Emirates? Like, he's been atrocious for a year and he still keeps getting starts for United. And Pereira must be thinking, what am I supposed to do? I ran my arse off against Burnley and I got an assist and I basically won us the game. From my press and their mistake, I gave Martial a tap in. It was 1-0 until the 90th minute and we only scored a second because they were trying to get a thing. I basically got us the 3 points at Burnley and I'm on the bench for that dance merchant. I do sympathise with Pereira. I don't necessarily think Pereira's going to be our solution in the long term, but he definitely should have started tonight. So Lingard really has to step up and do something today because I don't see how he starts this game, but he is. Matic concerns me. I think Matic against Burnley, who are slow and play high ball football, suits a slow, tall player. Arsenal don't play slow, high ball football. So Matic could find himself back in the role of static Matic where, he gets bypassed because he's a donkey. Dan James, personally, I would have started Greenwood. So they're 3 selections that I'm not happy with. But to be honest with you, the Matic one is essential because who would you play instead of Matic? Like, we haven't got anyone else to play. I would have played Pereira over Lingard and I would have played Greenwood over James. But, Ollie's gone with what he's gone with. And I think one thing that Ollie doesn't get called that probably should, I think he is the tinker man. I think he does tinker with the team a little bit too much. Simply, I think the biggest one for me is that why would you start? Why would you drop one of your best players in Andres Pereira for one of your worst players in Jesse Lingard in one of your biggest games of the season? Sean Atwood says 3-1 to United with Rashford, Martial and Lingard scoring. Socrates will score Arsenal's only goal with a header from a corner. Happy New Year to you all. Sean, that is very accurate and I hope that you are correct. Let's not forget that David Luiz is playing. He will give us chances, says Matt Rush. I mean, look, the way Manchester United win this game tonight, let's talk seriously for a moment because we spent a lot of time talking about Pogba. The way United win tonight is by getting the ball to Martial and Rashford. They're in form. And if we can get chances for those 2 players, then we can win this game. On the other hand, if Arsenal can create chances for Aubameyang, he is a player that I've got a lot of time and respect for. I haven't for Lacazette. He is the French Charlie Austin. But Aubameyang, Rance calls him the Gabonese Jamie Vardy. Well, Jamie Vardy's pretty good. So, but I think Aubameyang's a threat. I mean, it would just be. I tell you what would be typical. Unfortunately, we've got this Dan James versus Pepe game, haven't we? The Arsenal fans will just be praying that he stumbles and trips and scores a goal or something. But realistically, we're halfway through the season, and there's no doubting that Dan James has been the better signing. But you can guarantee if Pepe scores tonight, everything Dan James has done this season won't matter because it's all about this one game. And even if Arsenal beat us tonight, I think we're still 4 points clear of them. But they'll see it as a new year and a new start. And I think for United, look, if we can win it, I would be very impressed with the win because we have got key players missing, especially in the midfield. So I'd be very impressed with the win. But if we were to lose it, I think that momentum and everything can drop off. And confidence is very important and consistency is very important. So, look, I really, really hope we can get a win tonight. And I've got a funny feeling Jesse Lingard might do something tonight. He's got to. I don't want to be sat here at the end of the game saying, you know, Ollie, you're a bloody idiot. Like, why have you picked him? Because I think a lot of us are thinking, why has he picked him tonight? But hopefully it's going to work. Is Man United, Arsenal and Man City, Everton on Prime Video Sports? Says Thomas Clark. No, it's been BT Sport all day today in England showing the games. So yeah, it's been an all day, I think, from like 12 o'clock. Watching Dan James live, he does a lot more than we make out. He chases back and supports the right back and is always a threat, says Francis Cole. Look, I've got nothing against Dan James, Francis, and I don't think, you know, I think a lot of people are happy that he's playing. I just think, and I said it after the Burnley game, that when you look at the last few, you know, the month of December, I think Greenwood's had the better month, and I think Greenwood should start. But he's gone for Dan James. And I think Ollie has his favourites, and he does like Dan James a lot. And he does, you know, he obviously loves Lingard as well. That's why he's starting. Ollie says Pogba is out for yet another few weeks. Think he could be off in January, says Laith Al-Azwari. No, I don't, Laith, because, you know, we said it 3 weeks ago on this channel. Somebody told me at United that he's not going to be sold in January. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said it a week ago. He's not going to be sold. So, look, never say never, but the official line from Manchester United has always been that they will not be sold. So, I believe that to be the case. Ollie said yesterday Pogba is in contention for today's game. Today he said he's out for a few weeks, definitely. The guy is clueless and a puppet, says Barry Haynes. The problem is we don't know what the truth is anymore, do we? And I think with regards to... West Ham have beat Bournemouth 4-0. With regards to this, if you've got a player like Paul Pogba who says, I don't want to play for this club anymore, you're a joke, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has got to go into a big game like this, does he say, we've got a player who doesn't want to play for us anymore and says we're a joke? Or does he say he's injured? Because you're trying to protect your asset. You're trying to protect the value of that asset. So... But the truth will be known anyway. You know, Real Madrid will know the truth. You can guarantee it. So, you know, the truth should come out. That's what I think. B. Yakov says, why does Lingard get to keep his job? Because he had personal issues. Don't care if you're going to start games to perform or get out. Can't have passengers. MRR19 is the latest member of the United Stand Members Club. Thanks for joining, mate. You can join by clicking the join button. If you want to do that, you'll get a little badge next to your name in the live comments. And Mojo says, given Arsenal's defence, we should have played James. Having James, Rashford, Martial ring at that defence would get us goals. I really hope that the way Arsenal have picked their team, with Lacazette, Aubameyang and Pepe, it shows an intent to attack. And if they attack us, we know we will get space to attack them on the counter. And with James and Rashford and Martial on the counter, we've always got a chance to score. You know, I could see... I think this game will have goals in it. My one fear was that Arsenal have played quite defensively well under Arteta, apart from the mistakes in the last 10 minutes against Chelsea. So I was thinking, you know, we play quite defensively well. Could we cancel each other out? But I actually think because that midfield is such a mismatch in many ways, Arsenal will get to attack us quite a lot, which will force us to get opportunities to attack them on the break. So I think that there will be goals in this game. I can't see it being a 0-0. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner, we're trying to get up to 608,000 subscribers tonight. I can tell you that we're currently on 607 top corner, but it changes every 1,000. We're currently on 607,500, so we can do it on the show today. If you are new, bottom right hand corner, please do subscribe. We're live every night at 8 o'clock. We've got fan cams coming up after the game, match reactions, previews, transfer news, call-ins, the lot. You'll love it. The community is brilliant, as you can see in the live comments. So get involved with the United Stand, the biggest United fan outlet in the world. And you're all very, very welcome. So thank you, and please do subscribe. Bottom right hand corner, smash a like. We're nearly at 2,000 likes. Please smash a like on the video, and also if you could share the video, that would be great. There's a share button underneath. Just click the button. You can share it on Twitter and Facebook, and I'll shout out those people that have shared it on Twitter in a moment, because I can find out who has shared it quite easily. Marcus Bell, welcome, latest member of the United Stand Members Club. I used to know someone called Mark Bell. Went to school with him. I don't think he would call himself Marcus though. And Ty Stansfield MUFC is our latest member as well. Thank you for joining, mates. Really appreciate that. If you do join, get a little badge next to your name on the live comments, and that badge changes for every month that you are a member, all the way through to the platinum members. So we know your loyalty to the United Stand community and appreciate your support. Madrid have booed Ronaldo and Bale. Pogba will get bullied to tears because of his inconsistency, says Abra. Pogba out for a few weeks, says Joe Harb. Yeah, we've been speaking about this for the last 40 minutes because we're live an hour before kickoff with team news. So make sure you get involved with the channel. But we have the official line from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer that Pogba has said to him that he is injured with the same injury and will be out for a few weeks. And look, that's the only factual thing we've got. So I deal in facts, and Manchester United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer are saying that Paul Pogba is injured on his ankle again. I therefore say this. We played Watford, he came on for 45 minutes. 4 days before that, he wasn't even training because he was ill. He'd been out for 3 months. We have him back training for 3 days and we play him for 45 minutes. And we're wondering why he's had a relapse. He never should have been playing against Watford. We've rushed him back. I think on the face of it, with the facts that we've got, we've rushed him back and he's had a relapse. And we've never needed to do that. And this is the second time we've done it with Paul Pogba. And yes, I accept there might be a sinister ulterior motive where Pogba is causing problems behind the scenes. But if the club aren't going to release the truth, then we've got to deal with the facts that are released. That Paul Pogba is injured again with the same injury he had before. And he was rushed back. And that's all we've got. And the Manchester United fitness department is a joke, as we all say. And no. Al James, 1878, welcome mate, latest member of the United Stand Members Club. And Anshuman Panda, and Finn Turnbull. Thanks for joining the United Stand Members Club. Zayn Miassi, up the Arsenal and up Boris Johnson. A Tory and an Arsenal fan. You're going to be really popular tonight, Zayn. Mark, did you give DT access to your Twitter account, says Fred and Googie? Yeah, he did put one tweet out about being in his pocket. I would never put that out. Did anyone see Greenwood free kick in the youths? He's really good and better than Rashford, says Noel Ryan. I think he's got the potential to be better than Rashford, but I think Rashford at the moment is one of the best players in Europe, form-wise. I think he's been fantastic. Drew's at the gym watching. I tell you what, that is hard time. That is hammer time, Drew. No, January the 1st, you're down the gym. I bet it's busy. I tell you what, I bloody hate that. Just off-topic football for a moment. I absolutely can't stand it down the gym. I don't go down the gym anyway, but when I used to go down the gym, in January it gets really busy. Or if you walk to get the train to work and there's just suddenly loads of people running around everywhere because they're on the whole, I'm getting fit for January. Let's see where you are in February, you lazy twats. They'll be back at home eating their pies. Happy New Year, Mark, says Loca Chopper. Sorry, watching some outdoor ice hockey in Dallas. Lovely stuff. 40-1 Rashford to score first and Manchester United to win 2-1, says Love Hate Games. That's quite big odds. That is. I think Pogba has to be sold. He is taking the piss, says Ryan McGreary. Well, I'm sure Ollie's going to get asked about it a lot after the game, isn't he? 10 points clear of the Banter Club after tonight, says Mike the Cac Noah. Look, if we do beat Arsenal, we are 10 points clear of them, and I think they're about 4 points off relegation. So I think it's going to be a draw tonight. I do not have faith in Manchester United's midfield, so I'm going to say it'll be a draw. But I only say that because I think our midfield's weak. I think if we'd had Pogba or we'd had McTominay, I would have fancied us to beat them. But I think their midfield's going to be stronger than ours. I think Torreira and Xhaka is better than Fred and Matic. But that's only because Fred's playing with a bag of cement. I think Fred's good. I just think their midfield's better. I was sure he was going to play as well, Manchester G. I was told that Pogba was on his way down to London last night. Because he put a tweet out saying, best place to be for New Year. And but I don't know. When they asked Ollie Pogba was likely to play, he replied, yeah, I would think so. Ollie didn't even know, says Manchester G. There's something going on. And let me just provide some background to this as well. Let's not forget that with regards... I could just say as well, please share the video. There's a share button underneath. We've nearly got 20,000 people watching. This is a big, big game. Manchester United versus Arsenal. It's a big game. It matters to both sets of fans. So whatever happens, we're in for an exciting night. So settle in, United Stand, watch along, match chat, get involved, share the video, and subscribe if you're new, bottom right-hand corner. It's going to be a big game. But yeah, look, I think if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer thinks Pogba's going to play and then he's not playing and he's out for a few weeks, you've got to worry. But let's just add a little bit of depth to this. Mino Raiola has said quite a lot about United over the last 2 weeks. A couple of days ago, he said Erling Haaland chose Dortmund over Manchester United because he preferred that project. That is damning. Then Raiola said, I wouldn't advise Maradona himself to come to Manchester United in his prime because Manchester United ruin players. Manchester United is a business, not a football club. These are things where we all want to hate on Pogba, but they're things we're saying as well. I don't like Mino Raiola, but he is saying what we think. And yet Pogba will be the one that the fans are not happy with. but we don't know the truth. If Pogba's saying, I'm not playing for the club, I'm on strike, that's a disgrace. Whether he's right or not, that is a disgrace, because that's bigger than Woodward, that's bigger than the Glazers, that's Manchester United's badge. You know, people died over in Munich playing, you know, going over to play football matches for this badge. You know, this badge isn't about the Glazers, it's not about Woodward. And I know there isn't a badge there, but you know what I mean, Manchester United badge. But so Pogba to say, if he has said it, I'm not going to play, it doesn't matter whether you're right about Man United being a business, and it doesn't matter about how bad you've been treated, you still don't treat the fans and the badge like that. So if that is the case, that's bad. I just don't think it is, because Pogba is professional. And I don't think he would do that. I think he probably is injured, and I think United have rushed him back, and I think Pogba will get the stick again. Chelsea, Spurs and Wolves have dropped points. Please win, says Mr. Beast. Welcome to Manchester G, latest member of the United Stand Members Club. And Emmanuel Santana says Pogba played in a charity match a few days ago, if I'm not mistaken, so it has nothing to do with injury. I don't know about that. Whether he did that or not. Glad to see that your favourite Matic is starting, says Steve02K. Look, I'll be keeping my eye on Matic, I'm sure everybody else will, but I worry about Matic in games of this magnitude, because I just think that he ain't particularly quick. But if we win tonight, it'll be very impressive. Because that midfield is not good. It's basically Fred, a bag of cement, and a ghost. And that's being kind. But I do think about that FA Cup game a year ago, and I do just think about how United are in a situation whereby Lingard, Arsenal, tends to get that space to spin and run. And when Lingard gets that space to spin and run, that is when Lingard is a decent player. He's very easy to keep quiet, Jesse Lingard. You know, you deprive him of any space, and he's not particularly good. But Arsenal aren't the best defensively, and if Jesse Lingard can spin and turn into space, then you know that could be useful. After the way Pogba came over and clapped the fans when he came back, I don't think he would go on strike, says Barrett Powers. No, I don't think Paul Pogba would do it. I don't really think he would. I think he's a professional, and I think that he respects the club. I don't know whether he respects the Glazers and Woodward though, and he definitely respects Solskjaer. Even Mino Raiola said that he respects Ole Gunnar Solskjaer because he used to coach him in the reserves or the youth setup. So I don't think it's I like to see the good in people. I don't think that Paul Pogba has down tools at all. I think that we've rushed him back. I think that the evidence at this moment in time is that he's injured the same ankle again, and that we rushed him back, and that's down to our fitness department. But agendas will be agendas, and until I've got evidence that Paul Pogba is downing tools on strike, then I'm not going to believe that he's downing tools on strike. I will believe the facts that our fitness department has been shit over the last 6 years, and they've rushed him back, and that's what I believe has happened until anything else comes forward. According to multiple reports, he flew out to France the day after missing the Burnley game. So this isn't a good sign, says Emmanuel Santana. No, it isn't. And I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer needs to provide clarity very, very quickly, because what you don't want is you've got people like me saying that, look, the evidence is he's injured. It's the same injury. He must be injured. And it must be because we've rushed him back. And obviously that's logical. But then you've got other people saying there's all sorts of rumours that he's on strike. Well, this is not good, because you've got people like me believing he's injured and it's the fitness department's default, and then you've got some people thinking Pogba's on strike. One of us is wrong, and one of those agendas is wrong, and that's why the club should come out and clarify it very, very, very quickly. Ishan says there's reports that there's a high chance we don't sign anyone and we stop Matic from leaving to play him. Well, look, if Pogba's out for January, which is the case, and McTominay's out for January, which is the case, then you we're in trouble. You've got to sign midfielders. Simon Cliff, Mark, Happy New Year to you and your family. Have you heard of an exciting young player at Valencia called Ferran Torres who plays right wing? Thoughts? I haven't really watched any La Liga this season, Simon, so I'm going to say no, I don't really know much about him. Injured the same day as the transfer window opens, says Fahad Al-Ani. Well, of course, what I would say is that he's either legit injured, and if he is legit injured, he's definitely not moving because he's out for a month. So, look, maybe Pogba is like, has anybody thought this? Pogba knows he's not leaving in January. Pogba knows he's going in the summer, but he's got no intention of playing for Manchester United. Have you ever thought that he was pissed off in the summer that Lukaku forced a move and he had to stay? You ever thought that he feels that he's treated the club well and they're keeping him against his will? You ever thought that Pogba's like, well, look, I've got the Euros. I'll definitely be playing for France. Then I'll get my move to Madrid. So screw Manchester United and the Glazers and Woodward. I will play here and there, but I'm not going to play much. Who knows? Who knows? Pogba's putting Real logo on his official Snapchat, says Johan. Apparently that is a fake. I don't know whether that is true or not, but apparently that is a fake. But look, we're about 8 minutes away from kickoff. I'm very excited about this game. It is what it is. There is no Paul Pogba. There is no Scott McTominay. It is a weakened Manchester United side. It is a side that has got the crappiest midfield I think we could put out. Core problem stays the same. We need midfielders. And I really hope, that's from B. Jakob, I really hope that Fred and Lingard have a good game today. But based on their recent performances over the last year, I think Fred's been superb. And our midfield is basically Fred, the invisible man, and a bag of cement. So I think this is where games get won and lost. And I think it makes it very, very difficult for United tonight. But let's see. Let's see what happens. I think it's going to be tough for United, but you never know. We might get it. We might get it done. I hope that we can. And please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner, we're trying to get up to 608,000 subscribers tonight. If you are new, you're going to love the United Stand. Loads of live content, fan cams after the game, match reactions, previews, the whole lot. It's a great community. Call-ins as well. And you can also share the button. Please do share the video. There's a share button underneath. You can share it on Facebook and Twitter. We've nearly got 20,000 people watching, which is absolutely fantastic before kickoff. Remember, we're live all the way through till full time. You can get involved in the comments. Super chats through the $sign if you want to get read out. I do try and read other ones out as well, and you can join the members club if you want to do that, because we're live every match day with the match chats, so get involved with that. So what are we thinking then? Score predictions, and also get in the live comments and tell us where you're watching from as well, because I'm always very nosy with that. I am very nosy with that, very interested. Right. My score. Happy New Year to you and your family, Marks, as said Jamie. Yeah, look, I know a lot of people are saying that. Happy New Year. Obviously, it is the first today. We've got our live match chat first there. A big year. Look, what's 2020 going to bring for Manchester United? Well, it starts tonight. It starts in 5 minutes' time. And, we can all say Happy New Year and Happy New Year to you all. We've got a fantastic community here. And I know we've got people watching this show who don't support Manchester United. They just love the community that we've got. And I had a lot of people saying Merry Christmas over Christmas, funnily enough. Don't be saying Merry Christmas at Easter. It makes you come across weird. But no, a lot of people watch this channel who aren't United fans, and that's a testament to you lot and the channel itself, that we are attractive to people who don't support the club as well, because they like the content, they like the community. But what is this year going to bring? So Happy New Year to everybody. What is this year going to bring to Manchester United? Arsenal looking very focused in the dressing room. Manchester United hopefully focused too. I do worry about that midfield, and I think we all do as well. But look, let's see how we get on. You should never ever write United off before a ball has been kicked, and I think we all know that. So, and you know what? We could play absolutely terrible. De Gea could be man of the match. They could have 50 shots, not score any, and then we score on the break in the last minute and win the game. So look, anything can happen. Or Matic and Lingard could have the best game they've ever had. and we're winning 3-4-1 and we're all talking about, oh yeah, we're easily going to get top 4. You don't know. Nothing would surprise me with this team, because that's the problem with Manchester United. We don't know. We just don't know what we're going to get with them. You can't trust them. And trust works both ways as well, doesn't it? You know, you can't trust them because they can be really shit, but you can't trust them because you know, sometimes they're really good. If we knew they were going to be crap all the time, we could trust them with being crap all the time. But sometimes, as in Etihad away, they pull out good results. And I think that's why a lot of United fans are confident. Smith Jones says, if we're going to push this Brexit agenda, let's at least get good ones. Grealish and McNeil for the price of Maddison. Thoughts, says Smith. I really liked McNeil for Burnley. I thought he played really, really well, actually. And I think Grealish is, you know, if that deal for Grealish could be done this month, I would do it. But MUFC is just like a box of chocolates, says Am Sharp. You never know what you're going to get. I'll finish that one. Tyler Paul's in Trinidad. Man United are going to win 3-1, says Prophet Wiseman. Well, that was my score prediction on the preview when I thought Pogba was going to play. So Pogba doesn't play. Matic plays. Pereira's been dropped for Lingard. I tell you what, he's got to turn up. Otherwise, I just don't know. The Arsenal team, if you want to know that: Leno in goal, Maitland-Niles, Socrates and Luis. Kolasinac back at left back. They haven't got that young left winger playing at left back. They have got a left back in Kolasinac. Xhaka and Torreira as a midfield 2. Ozil ahead of him. And then Lacazette, Aubameyang and Pepe. First time in a long time all those three have played together. And look, they've not fired, and that's why they've not been playing together. But, well, I tell you what, they better not do it today. Daniel Henry says, Mark, what if Manchester United and Pogba have agreed to part ways, but they want to sign someone first and Pogba don't want to play because of injuries? No, that's not happening. What I wish for in 2020 is transfers and stability, says Simon Heldon. Look, I tell you what I would say, Simon, and everybody else as well. Manchester United need to sign players in January. You know, McTominay's out maybe till mid-February. Pogba's out until February. We've got, you know, even though Matic is crap, we've now got Matic and Fred as our only midfield 2, and we're playing tonight. We're playing on Saturday night against Wolves in the FA Cup. We're playing Tuesday against Man City. Then we're playing the weekend against Norwich. We've got Liverpool at Anfield. This could be a terrible month if we don't sign some players. My wife supports United, says Amsterdam 87. I think his wife's called Lilo. Good one. I was going to say something about lying on her, but that's just disrespectful. What I wish for in 2020 is transfers and stability. Simon Heldon, well, I've read that one already, haven't I? My wife Lilo supports United, says Amsterdam 87. I think I just read that, didn't I? Lilo. Right, well, we're nearly at kick-off. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Carrick, McKenna, they're looking quite up for it. He's probably told them to go out and enjoy themselves. Hopefully they can go out and perform. I think the risk of starting Lingard is risky, but we're about to kick off actually. So let me just get the timer set and ready to go. Come on, Manchester United, let's get the result in. Please share the video, share it on Twitter and Facebook, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Bottom right hand corner, we're trying to get to 608,000 today. The ref is about to kick it off. No Pogba, we've got to do it without him. Risky, says Metten. I know I've you know, maybe I'm bottling it a little bit. I said United would win 3-1 in the preview. I thought Pogba would play. I've changed that to a 1-1 draw, which is a little bit, I agree, it's a little bit weak of me, but that's the way I'm going to go. Timer's up and running for you. We're 10 seconds in. Game has kicked off. Arsenal, I think, will start very, very quick in this game and try and pressurise us. Here's Fred. Good start for United. He's just got to get it into Jesse. Lingard. Have a shot. Straight at Leno. I said have a shot. He was 35 yards out there, Rashford. But I would have had a shot, to be fair. I'm just looking at what was going on ahead of him. Lingard makes the run. He could have laid it into Martial, actually. I think there was a pass into Martial, and Martial was like, why are you not passing to me? But to be fair, I said shoot. So you can't moan at him for that. Arsenal have just won it back here. A lazy pass, I think it was, from Matic. And now Ozil's coming forward. Pepe against Luke Shaw. You've got to put him in your pocket tonight, Luke. Your big pocket. They've not kicked off yet, says Billy Malouk. Well, they definitely have. We're a minute in. Tyrone Williams says Rashford's too selfish sometimes. Yeah, but, you know, I think Rashford believes... I don't think Rashford believes he's the next Ronaldo. But I think he has that belief that top players need to have, that you know, that selfishness. And Ronaldo was very selfish. And I think, you know, I said with Rashford, shoot there. It's the first 30 seconds, have a shot, you know. If it's the last minute and you could have played Martial in, you'd probably moan at him a little bit more. But in the first few minutes, I don't have got a problem with him having a shot, to be honest. United under a little bit of pressure here. We've got the ball, but they're pressing high up the pitch, Arsenal, which I think is a good thing from tactical point of view. Although it's interesting because Torreira is just sitting, and here we go. Dan James down that right-hand side. United already showing their intent, and we've got a foul here, and I'm wondering if he's going to go for a yellow card straight away on Kolasinac. Yeah, yellow card, Kolasinac. That's pretty... that's trouble for United because Dan James has absolutely burnt him, and Kolasinac is booked in the first 2 minutes, which means Martial's down here. I think the foul on I think the flash Gordon, yeah, Sally Delaware. So Martial's gone down here. I thought that was the worst foul, to be fair, but I don't know whether he's going to do anything about that. David Luiz absolutely plants his foot on him. He should be booked, but I think Kolasinac gets booked, not David Luiz. Well, that's good for United. Kolasinac booked already. Where's Kolasinac from? Is he Bosnian? Anyway, United got an opportunity to whip one in here. Fred. This is where you've got to be looking for Harry Maguire in these situations as well. Yeah, he's Bosnian. So, Fred's going to whip this in. Can we find Harry Maguire? Over it. It's a good one. And Leno punches away. But now Arsenal on the attack. Have they got any pace? And I don't know what's going to happen here. I think this referee might have made a rod for his own back here. I don't think he's going to book Matic, but Arsenal players are trying to get him booked. It wasn't a booking. Lacazette absolutely backs into him. Could be that sort of a game. An early yellow card just means that both sides will be saying book, book, book all the time. But Kolasinac on a yellow card, I think is interesting because Dan James will run at him and then it's like, you know, he can't make a tackle. And we're on the break again here. Lingard, he's got runners. Look for the pass. Oh, it's not a good pass from Lingard, that. It's behind, and Dan James is saying exactly what I'm saying there. That is a shit pass from Lingard. People will think it's a good pass by Lingard. It's not. He makes the interception. It's a crap pass by Lingard. Like, you're a bloody professional footballer, mate. Dan James is saying get it out in front of him and he plays some little pussy pass behind him. He could have been in one-on-one there. That's what gets on my tits about Lingard. He can't create anything. Another corner for United, though. But it's a good start from United. We are causing them problems on the break. Pogba could easily put out tweets saying injured and committed to United for the season. He never says anything. Expects with the agent talking. Leaves fans guessing, says Dazu W. I think that's fair enough, isn't it? That's fair enough. But United started off quite well. On a positive, United have started off quite well. Dan James has pulled a yellow card out of Kolasinac running down the right hand side. Lingard getting that space to turn and run into, but the problem is even when he does get that space, he can't create a cat. Just could have put Dan James in, but there he is again. Lingard, he's picking up that space in that position. So Charles Hobbs says that Pogba should make an independent statement. So a lot of people are saying that about Pogba. I'm in pyjama bottoms today, yeah. I'm very hungover today. I was up until about 3:30 last night drinking Malibu and pineapple juice and all sorts. So But I'm excited about this. Both teams have set up attacking. This will go down to who has the better defence. Ours is a lot stronger, so I think we'll come out on top 2-1, 2-0 wins as 4D. I hope so, mate. I think we look more dangerous on the attack as well. Because Lingard's more mobile than Ozil. James is more mobile than Lacazette and Pepe. I think we're just a more mobile front three, and I think that will allow us to get up the pitch a lot quicker than Arsenal can. Lingard is a young lad, give him time, says Joel Robinson. Yeah, we must not forget that Jesse Lingard is very young and he's got great potential. Always important to let people know that. Good battling by Matic there. Maguire finds it over to Luke Shaw. So a good steady first 7 minutes from Manchester United, I've got to say. We've looked the better team so far. We're moving the ball around really, really well. Arsenal looking like a team that's in the bottom half fighting relegation, and good tackle there from Dan James. Lingard doesn't quite find Arsenal players, so Kolasinac now bringing it forward. I think whoever scores first in a game like this is important as well. If United get in front, then you can just pick them off on the break. If Arsenal get in front, and they bloody have, it's Pepe of all people. Pepe bloody losing to Arsenal. Who loses to Arsenal? I can't believe we are losing to Arsenal. That is a bloody joke. And I knew it would be Pepe. Does sod all season. The most overrated signing that Arsenal have ever made. Dan James destroys him. Scores against Arsenal. Scores against United in the first few minutes. And suddenly he's worth 80 million. Because that's how Arsenal will absolutely celebrate it. But how are we losing to Arsenal? How are we losing to Arsenal? You know, they're rubbish. They could enter a useless bag of shit at competition and be the only entrant and they still wouldn't win it. They are terrible. And we have... Well, he's onside. He's on... Your hand can't be offside. It's Ozil with the assist. It flicks off. Is it... Who does it flick off? Is it Lindelof? Is Fred's poor? Well, to be honest, I think Lingard's got to put this out for a corner. It's luck. It's just a lucky goal. It flicks off Lindelof. Flicks off Lindelof's ankle right into the path of Pepe. There's nothing anybody can do. It's not going to be a VAR thing. It's 1-0 to Arsenal. And they've done absolutely nothing. I was just saying how important the first goal will be in this game. And they've done absolutely nothing. And they just get a little bit of luck like that. Bloody crap. Losing to bloody Arsenal. That's luck. That's beginner's luck. That's what you expect from a bloody new manager. But you know, I need to be careful now because it's Kolasinac coming forward. Coming from Wan-Bissaka's side as well. Oh, he's unmarked on the back post. What's going on here? United look a bit ragged at the back here. I'm not enjoying this, people. I don't think anybody is. It's been a poor start from United defensively, and Arsenal now with their tails up. Luke Shaw's having a bit of a nightmare here, and over the bar. I tell you what. Justin Haight says, "Oh, Nicolas Pepe, don't know the song." I bet Arsenal fans don't either. He's been shit for you, so it's probably a new song. But he took it well. Bit of luck in the cross from Ozil. Flicked off Lindelof's ankle right into the path of Pepe. Just a bit of a fortuitous goal, but they've nearly gone up the other end. They've nearly gone and scored again there. And United looking a little bit rocked here. I felt United started off quite well. Matic let his man run towards goal. Then he doesn't pick up the man behind him, says Michael Sauter. Well, yeah, to me it looked like it might be Fred, but oh God, De Gea playing it out there a little bit dangerous. Oh, bloody hell. You don't want to go behind to Arsenal first 10 minutes. They'll bloody park the bus now. I saw them do it against Chelsea. It makes it hard to hit them on the break when they've already got the goal, is what I'm trying to say. But Leno's going to let that go. No, he hasn't. What's your thoughts then, people? I mean, look, I didn't... Luke Shaw on toast in 10 minutes, as Paul Taylor. I don't actually agree with you on that one, but there you go. Doesn't take long for people to start hating on players who had nothing to do with the goal, but there you go. If you actually understand football, the goal happened because Ozil was allowed to run, had a free opportunity to cross it, and it luckily hit the back of Lindelof's ankle and flicked into the path of Pepe. no amount of man marking would stop that going into Pepe's path. It was just, I think Lindelof should deal with the cross, and I think whoever was tracking Ozil should track Ozil. That's where that came from. It was a little bit lucky, but you buy your own luck in the box when you put a cross in the box. Those things can happen. I think Lindelof's got to deal with the cross, and I think somebody's got to deal with Ozil. But I don't think you cannot blame Luke Shaw for Pepe scoring. It's literally into his path. He's running into the ball. You can't man mark somebody who's running into the path of a ball that's going directly to them. It's an impossibility as a defender to deal with that. So, good tackle by Luke Shaw there on Maitland-Niles, and Matic will clear it. But United need to get into this game a little bit quicker because we don't want to be conceding the second. Zayn Miasi's here. I knew he would. Kiss Miasi. Plenty of time to go. Relax, as Frankie once said. Relax. Speak it in. But this is going to be difficult for United now because I don't rate that midfield, and Maguire's just done a terrible pass into Pepe there, and it's Arsenal getting all the second balls, winning the possession. And what worries me about this United side is I think the front three are dangerous on the attack, on the break, but they've already got the goal. So Arsenal don't really need to. If I was Emery, I would be saying, Torreira, just sit. Do not let them catch us on the break. We've got the goal. It was an offside trap, but Maguire played Ozil on, says Markey. It was poor defensively. Here it is. Somebody's got to be marking Ozil there, though. I think that's Fred's fault, to be honest with you. Fred and Lindelof for me on that. The revolution has begun with Boris and Arteta. London is red, says Zayn Miasi. A massive contribution there. He's obviously very, very happy. I meant Arteta, sorry. It's not Emery, sorry. It's Arteta. You change your manager so quickly. It's early days before people start calling Maguire a flop and Shaw fat and Lingard invisible and Matic a postbox. It's early days, but Arsenal looking way more up for it and United looking leggy. They look on it, Arsenal. United looking leggy, as I said. And the worrying thing is, I think Fred is the more concerning player. On the goal, he lets Ozil go. It's his responsibility. But Pogba needs to be sold, says Kevin Hayes. Early days. Arteta's better than Solskjaer, says Mario J. I tell you what, I love Arsenal fans. I'm not even taking the piss. I love Arsenal fans. They absolutely do it to themselves every time. There's 80 minutes to go. I'm not saying you're not going to win, but you set yourself up for massive falls all the time. I bet DT's there gobbing off with his bottle of 7-Up and all sorts. But, it's early days. Arsenal wanting a yellow card for Lingard here. We do struggle against these smaller clubs, says Mark Whitten. We do. Every time. Goals on Lindelof, passed Ozil on to Fred last second with no time for Fred to recover, says Sean Finity. I'd have to watch that back again, Sean. But I do think Lindelof, that ball comes across, he should be cutting it out. It's the flick off his ankle that causes that. That's a nice ball from Fred into James. Into Martial. Oh, good tackle that by Socrates. And Arsenal come away with it. Bit of good play there between Matic and Fred. But well in by Fred there on Ozil. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. Arsenal started well against Chelsea. It's not over, says Jordan Such. Now, there's a long way to go, and I still think that our front three is looking very dangerous. We started off well. It was a bit of a sucker punch goal, but we did start off well. So let's hope we can get back into it. Arsenal on the attack again. Lingard. Oh, come on, Jesse. Arsenal just up for it, but I think Arsenal have gone up a gear since the goal. This is what worries me about United, though. Maguire passing it into Matic, and he just turns round, gives it to Fred, and we end up having to pass it back. And United just don't have that creativity in the midfield, and that's the concern. Zayn Miasi's at it again. He's loving it. He's been looking forward to this all year. Ball forward by United here. Lingard's never going to win that, but Rashford's onto it. Oh, just couldn't get the shot off. Here is Pepe. The thing about Pepe is, and you can check my Twitter feed, I never ever called Pepe a flop. I never did. You know, when everyone was at it, I said I would have happily took Pepe at United. I think he's a good player. He's definitely not had a good season for Arsenal, but I don't think he'll end up being a flop. I think he's a good player, and I think, you know, goals like that, although he didn't get a clean connection on the goal, but he put it in the back of the net. I do think he's a decent player. How did Chelsea do today, says Mark Whitten? They lost. No, they drew with Brighton, so they've opened the door again. Be typical of United if we don't let it happen. This is what happens when you employ someone based on being a legend at a club. Henry was legend, but it's a crap pundit and manager. Yeah, Thierry Henry is a crap pundit. You're right there, Zane. What was he on about? Bloody Marcus Rashford should play down the middle. I mean, he just clearly doesn't watch United because, look, I like Rashford. Everyone likes Rashford, but he's crap down the middle. He's much better off the left. So it just shows you Thierry Henry doesn't watch football. So 20 minutes has gone, you know, that first five minutes from United looked really good. You get Kolasinac booked, you think we're hitting them on the break. But the problem is when Arsenal get a goal, they'll drop a little bit because they've got the goal to protect. And it almost makes, you know, Lingard a little bit redundant now because he's not going to get the space to spin and turn into. Only team I know that can spend over 130 million on defence and still concede. Crap, says Ryan FTW. More and more problems with every game we played. Change is needed. I mean, look, not many people have mentioned Solskjaer over the last hour when the team news came in. I'm not saying Solskjaer isn't a problem, but United's problems are far bigger than... They're just inherent through the whole club. You know, you've got this issue with Pogba that no one knows what's going on about. We've got two of our best midfielders out for January, and we're not looking to sign a midfielder in the January transfer window. The club is rotten from top to bottom. And that rhymes, and it's true. It's a mess. And unfortunately, when a club is like that, you're only dreaming that things are going to get better. They're going to get worse. Rashford dispossessed 5 times in 20 minutes, says Darshan Singhvi. Interesting, isn't it? Zayn, stop spending all your money. You know, I know you only live once, and I know Arsenal are doing well, but you're going to look stupid when we equalise. Somebody said Lingard's awful. Water is wet. Good battling back from Dan James there, but Kolasinac bullies him off the ball and carries on. He's driving forward at the moment, and surprisingly on a yellow card, I think Kolasinac has just thought, sod it, I'm going to go on the attack a bit because if I sit back I'm going to get exploited on a yellow card. But Arsenal the better team at the moment. I can't deny it. It is what it is. Kolasinac is now down injured, which would be good. Happy New Year, mate. Happier if Matic wasn't here, says the Kraken. Water isn't wet, Thomas Robinson. I know, I always say that, and somebody always says that. Breaking the play here while somebody's down injured. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right hand corner. you're very welcome. We'll be live after the game with a match reaction. We're obviously live all the way through till kickoff, till full time. We've got fan cams, which I tell you what, I said to Flex, are you interviewing the AFTV boys? He said yes. I can't. You can't start the year with Baku, Mr. Baku again, and the Prat in the Hat giving it the big one. You can't start the year like that. We've got to get back into this game. They can't deliver an L on the first day of the year. We just can't have that. I can tell you that Luke Shaw is trending on Twitter. United need to get a football. I mean, one of the things that will be levelled at United is, I think, have we had a shot on goal apart from that one that Marcus Rashford had speculatively from about 40 yards in the first 30 seconds? Does Shaw know this isn't Weight Watchers, it's football, says High Elf Legolas? But I actually, if you do anything like that again, I just won't read it, because I do just think that's bullying. You're talking about somebody's weight, and he's not actually at fault for the goal. So you're just bullying a footballer, I think, on that. And I would hope people would agree with me. You don't have to like the player, but he wasn't at fault for the goal. It's impossible to man-mark somebody when the ball is coming into their feet because it's deflected off another defender. It's not his fault, the goal. I'm sorry. Whether you like him or not, it's not his fault. As much as I want to agree with you, we have 11 internationals on the pitch. A manager should be able to get these players playing good football, says Fitness and Scripted Sharath Kamath. Thanks, mate, and welcome to the show. Happy New Year as well. United here trying to get after a high ball. Matic has got it into Lingard. Oh, fucking hell. I mean, come on. Lingard is, again, pulling in another 2 out of 10 performance. I don't know. Can we be optimistic with that? Please do share the video if you're watching as well. You can share it on Twitter and Facebook. I'll be shouting out a few people who've done that on Twitter in a moment, but Arsenal are on the attack at the moment. Fadel says the midfield are missing McTominay. The midfield are missing, mate. The midfield are missing. Yeah. Well, that's a good ball by David Luiz, and it's down that left-hand side. They don't seem to be concerned about getting down our left-hand side, which is surprising to me. I thought they might try and exploit Luke Shaw a little bit, but they're getting at Wan-Bissaka side. They're not been overly successful, but they're not afraid to do that, Arsenal. Arsenal have till now successfully crowded Fred, says Varun Chanda. I think that's a very good observation from Varun as well, because Fred is our only good midfielder. It's a bit like when Pogba plays and people just swamp Pogba. If you swamp Fred, Lingard couldn't create anything, and neither can Matic. Tactics are poor. All we're doing is trying to hit Arsenal on the counter. No 1-2 plays of anything. Kick and run team. That's all we are. Ollie out, says Scrappy Red Devil. I'm taking a note of some stuff for the match reaction as well. Well, yeah, we don't seem to ever see any evidence of a plan B, do we? It's always the same. Boss says that Aaron Wan-Bissaka looks tired, to be honest. My concern with United, and it's early days, Matic is on a run here. He should get a 1-2 off Rashford, but Rashford tackled well there by Xhaka. Well in by Fred into Dan James. Got a bit of momentum here. Whips one in. Not a good cross there from Dan James. Well in Luke Shaw. Wins the tackle off Pepe as well. Williams is miles better than Shaw. Williams... I'm not listening to any of that idiotic stuff. I'm not saying that Williams isn't better than Shaw, but I'm saying you're an idiot because you cannot play a teenager every single game for 60 games in a season. That's not how you develop youth. He's got to come in, come out. He'll play against Wolves, probably won't play against Man City, might play against Norwich. He's got to play one game a week and allow him to grow. You just can't just chuck him in. Do you think we will still win, Mark, says Scott Baker? At the moment, we've got to change it. And this is what I always talk about. Where's the plan B? Because Arsenal at the moment have dropped off. I think the first 5 minutes they were playing higher up the pitch, trying to get an opening in the game. They've got that opening now. They know they don't need to play so high up the pitch, and they know that Lingard wants to spin into space and run at their back four. Well, Torreira and Xhaka are playing a lot deeper now to prevent United getting the opportunity to hit them on the break. It's now a 1-0 game where United have got to try and find a way through a team that's sitting back, and we've never been good at that. It will never change, Ollie. I'm sorry, says Matthew. This point in time, any academy player is better than Lingard, says Andre, not Giant. Well, it's funny, isn't it? You know, Luke Shaw's trending on Twitter when Jesse Lingard's been absolutely shit. But, you know, people have their agendas. Nice little run by Martial into the box. Torreira covers him and Socrates covers him, knocking it out for a throw-in. Mark Goldbridge is a god, says I watched Jay Ling's highlights from the year of Messi Lingard and it depressed me because knowing how terrible he is now just makes me depressed. I'll tell you what, that goal he scored against Watford 2 years ago, where's that lad gone? Say Miasi, Mark Maguire is awful. He's decent at best for 80 million. He could use a waste $250 million on Pogba, McGinn, Lukaku. What a criminal waste of money. Woodward should be on crime watch. Well, you're not wrong there, Zane. It's probably your best comment of the year. This is annoying, says Manu Turgois. Arsenal just too comfortable at the moment. Defensively, I don't think we're asking enough questions. It always seems to be a long ball looking for a mistake. And as we've said with United, it's always a moment of individual brilliance or a mistake by the opposition that we're looking to score goals. We don't score enough of these team goals where we're creating opportunities ourselves. It's frustrating. But at the moment, United have the ball. Lingard knocks it out wide to Wan-Bissaka. We've got to try and get our fullbacks going forward as well. You know, Arsenal are going to sit. What was that then? I don't know what they're trying to show there between Maguire and Lacazette. There was absolutely nothing in it. Please do subscribe on bottom right hand corner. We're getting close to 608,000. It will change in the top right hand corner when we've done it. Bottom right hand corner, join in. We've got fan cams coming in after the game. They're going to be unbearable if we lose. They're going to be unbearable with Robbie and Troops and DT and everyone else coming on. Live every night at 8 o'clock, transfer daily. I mean, talk is that United are not going to sign anybody in January. Welcome to Manchester United, run by absolute clowns. They belong in a circus. How can you not sign players? We're in every cup competition. We're in the Europa League. We're still in a fight for top four. We've got no midfield, but we're not going to buy anybody. You know, we're a club for tomorrow, not today. What's going on? Get your bloody checkbook out. Luke Shaw clears it. Jesse wouldn't make a pub league side so poor, says Brian Murphy. He's just not been in the game again. Nice ball over the top here. Martial can't get that though. Too many bloody long balls. Bruno Fernandes agreed to talks. Woodward not involved, says Wolfie 35p. I don't know what that's all about. I've heard nothing about Bruno Fernandes being in talks for us. Jedson Fernandes. I've heard about that. Half an hour gone and not a lot going on. Arsenal into the box here. Maguire's got to be careful there. Lacazette's done him, and he should have scored. He absolutely did him in there. £80 million defender. I tell you what, that's going to be a meme. That was turning him like a bottle top. He really did. I mean, he nearly gives a penalty away. And then he just turns him away, and he should have scored. Lacazette should have scored. Embarrassing defending by Harry Maguire here. And he doesn't look good tonight, Maguire. I think Maguire's had... he's very lucky. I think Maguire's been... oh, shit. Nearly 2-0 there. Torreira spin it. You know, they could have scored 2 in the space of 30 seconds there, Arsenal. I don't know what's going on here. Pepe gives it into Torreira. Fred gets turned by like a bottle top as well. He puts it in. I'll tell you what. Maguire by Lacazette and then Fred by Torreira. Spun like a bottle top. Should be 2-0. All over the shop. Everybody. You feel for Martial and Rashford and Dan James again because it's just crap behind them. Smutty says we need a timeout. Well, we need something because tactically this is poor from United. They're running around, but their brains aren't kicking in. And Harry Maguire, as I said, I think Harry Maguire has been criticised unfairly. I don't think he's been a bad signing. I don't think he's been an 8 out of 10. I think he's been okay. I don't think he's been bad. But tonight he is not having a good game. He's very lucky to not have conceded a goal there to make it 2. Matic, poor pass into Martial. Arsenal coming away with it. How long before people turn on Martial for being lazy? People who don't watch the game, they'll do it. We're getting played off the park by Arsenal, says Charles Crane. They're 4 points above the drop. Our defence is in shambles. Maguire are awful today. I can't disagree with any of that, Charles. They are recasting the Joker in the next film. Jesse Lingard in, Joaquin Phoenix out, says Zayn Miassi. He's loving it, isn't he? And it's sad at this point, says Ewan Hackin. Times like these, I miss players that grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck. We have no one with strong leadership skills in our team. Sad to watch. Well, Harry Maguire's the captain. Harry Maguire's the captain tonight. You know, whether that's right or wrong, Harry Maguire is the captain for Manchester United tonight. And he ain't having a very, very good game. And a long ball from... David Luiz should not be able to do that. It's a good recovery block by Wan-Bissaka, but who was picking up the runner in the first place? And Arsenal, against a team that's playing a low block, they're finding spaces in us, and we just can't do what Arsenal are doing here. You know, playing passes around our box. We can't do that. Now it's Pepe up against Luke Shaw. Stands him up, gives it to Ozil. 80 million from an English Kurt Zuma, says Ryan FTW. Well, they're in again here. It's Aubameyang, overlap, cross coming into the back post. Luke Shaw's got to get up. I thought it was a foul. He's got to give a foul. Yeah, it's a foul on Shaw. Who is on the bench you would bring in personally, says Mark Whitten. Nobody. There's nobody on the bench to come on because it's the midfield that's shit. Andreas Pereira for Lingard, 100%, but centre defensive midfield, we've got nobody. The bench is Phil Jones, Brandon Williams, Ashley Young, Mata, Greenwood and Pereira. There is no midfielder to bring on. That's the problem. We need a sub at half-time. Greenwood for Lingard, says Michael Sauter. But Arsenal, the press, it's working really well. We've got a goal kick there. It's not good from United at all. It's not good from United at all. My throat's hurting. Ollie stood up waving at somebody. Hello, Jesse. Are you having a good time? Having a good time? I told you I'd give you a game, didn't I? New Year's Day, New Year's treat. All right. I'm only joking. I do those sort of things when I'm despairing. Here's Martial. Oh, lovely bit of skill there. And he wins as a throw-in. Arteta animated. Not literally, he's not a cartoon, but he's up on the side getting involved. That's not a foul. He'll give a foul for that. Pepe's down. 22,000 people watching. Make sure you subscribe if you know everybody. Please do share the video as well. It's there's a share button underneath Twitter and Facebook. I'm sure we've got a lot of people who aren't United fans watching. You're welcome. Let's hope we can spin it around and shut you up. But in fairness, look, I think United fans over the last 6 years have learnt the word. Oh boy, have we learnt the word in fairness. And Arsenal totally deserve to be in front at the moment. They had 30 seconds where they could have got the second goal twice. Lacazette spinning Maguire and then Torreira spinning Fred. Both getting their shots off, both wide. Can Zane just be quiet for once as extra Z? Well, he's having his moment, isn't it? All we have to do to break their press is move the ball around the back fast. That's coaching. It's not good enough, says Charles. I know, I agree with you, Charles. Another great comment. We do not move the ball quick enough, and we haven't done for 6 years. You know, Arsenal are 1-0 up. They're playing against us parked on the edge of our box when they're attacking, and they're still triangling, pass and move, pass and move. United couldn't pass and move if you picked them up and carried them. Who scored? It was Pepe. Matic over Garner is suicidal. He gets me crying, says Darshan Singhvi. Yeah, Garner not even on the bench. If his name was Harry Sanchez, there would be a hashtag with his name trending. Some mistake there. Post from Pepe. Aubameyang. De Gea punches. I don't even know how Arsenal ended up with the ball there. It must have been a sloppy pass out from De Gea. But it nearly, I mean, De Gea's shaking his head. It must have been in with a bad pass. We have Lingard in the number 10. Are you surprised anyone in the chat could do better? Says Jonathan Matthews. Wish Ollie would be more passionate on the touchline. It's depressing. Well, Arsenal have just hit the post. Arsenal should be 2-0 up. Arsenal will kick themselves if we get back into this game because they should be 2-0 up. They've had numerous chances to go 2-0 up. Pereira for Lingard and Greenwood for Dan James or something similar. Let's try something. We're still in this game. Kieran Burke, you're right. We must make the changes now. Their midfield is costing us this game. We need players in January, says Michael Maystar. What makes me laugh, and it doesn't make me laugh, it's just a saying. I'm not laughing, but what makes me laugh is as soon as that team came out, we said the game would be won and lost in the midfield, and it was De Gea with a stupid pass out from the back. He shoots, passing across his goal as well. Pepe shoots, hits the bottom. I mean, that would have been De Gea's fault. You know, De Gea's critics, he passes it to Pepe across his goal, edge of the box. Pepe hits it, curls it, post, full on. Nearly a very good goal. Sloppy by De Gea. De Gea seems to have been taking risks today as well. Out of the back. And there's an... Oh, God, I'm glad he didn't see that run. But here's Ozil. Fred. Ozil into Lacazette. Cross is good. Whoa, it was very good. Aubameyang's got it on the back post. Aubameyang into Ozil. Good interception. But that cross by Lacazette was very good. And Arsenal... Xhaka. What are you doing, Jesse? Bring Greenwood on now, says Simon 998889. Michael Maystar, thin midfield is... Yeah, we've read that one. It's just 5 minutes to half time. United need to get in 1-0 at half time because I tell you what, if they get the second goal, the game is over. They probably should have their second goal. They totally deserve their second goal. United are hanging on here. And for me, as many people in the live comments are saying, Lingard has to come off. Lingard has to come off at half time for Pereira. And he's got to get this team to learn to pass and move in 10 minutes in that half time. Absolute trash, zero confidence as Manchester United in Ollie to make in-game changes and less than zero confidence in the board to get in reinforcements. The thing is, because we keep getting a chance at top four, people think we're a good team. We're only getting a chance at top four because it's the shittest league we've ever seen apart from Liverpool. It's a shit league. Like Chelsea are dropping points all over the place. This is United's worst start to a season in Premier League history. The fact that we're in a top four race just proves that the league is crap, not that we're any good. So these performances don't actually surprise people because we are not a very good team. Tactically, we're not very good. We're only good when teams attack us and we get them on the break. When we've got to break a team down, we're pants. And that's what's happening in this game. It's awful. We've not even had a shot on goal, really, have we? Apart from that Rashford speculative one. It's been not very good, to put it lightly. Arsenal playing with a smile on their face. Another cross coming in here. Matic has let his runner go. And Maguire stops the cross. I mean, just the midfield. And I'm not just saying Matic. I mean, Matic I don't rate, but Fred's losing his runner as well. It's not good enough. And here's a corner. Dave Miasi's laughing his head off. Lingard on course for a 1 in the match rating, says the mystery man. Well, that's on Ollie. De Gea. Goal shit! Absolute shit! What's going on? It's Kolasinac, is it? It's Socrates smashing it in. If VAR doesn't help us, we have blown it. We have absolutely blown it. Invisible defending from Manchester United here. Invisible defending. Will there be a VAR? I don't think there is. It looks like it's 2-0. Invisible defending. Ollie's gone to his bloody laptop to see if he can claim a VAR. But it's invisible defending from Manchester United. Who is going to attack this cross? Nobody. It's not going to be VAR'd. It's flicked on. Invisible defending. I tell you what, that defence could go out in pouring rain for an hour and they'd still come in drier than a poppadom's fart. They are awful. Invisible defending. What are they doing? Like, somebody's got to go and attack that ball. Kolasinac just blasts it in, thinks it's his birthday, New Year's Day. Happy New Year, ABBA. Classic. Crap. Rubbish. They're coached by Steve Round, for God's sake. He was David Moyes' coach. And that second goal we didn't want to see has gone in. And it's just invisible. I tell you what, if you're on the radio, you're blessed. If you're listening to this on the radio, you're the lucky ones. Because I tell you what, you'll probably see the back four more than we will. Invisible. Absolutely bloody invisible. That cross is head height and it goes, nobody attacks it. I tell you what, Harry Maguire, £80 million. He's not worth 80 pence at the moment and he's the captain. Lindelof's got to head that away as well. Awful. Awful. This is, without question, the shittest Manchester United performance I've seen all season. And I tell you what, Arsenal are having a crap season. And even when they beat us, they'll still be 4 points behind us. So that's how bad Arsenal are. But I've got to say, well done. Well done to Arsenal because they played us like a bloody fiddle. They've blown us like a trumpet. But here's Rashford in down the left-hand side. Get a shot off. Oh, for God's sake, man. What are you doing? Their heads are gone. 2020 and their heads have gone. Awful from Manchester United. 2-0. I've got to change the score. But this is abhorrent. But it's only what Arsenal deserve. I said this. You were all saying this. Can we just get to half-time? 1-0. If we get to half-time, maybe we can change it around. It could be, without shadow of a doubt, it could be 3 or 4-0 to Arsenal, and you wouldn't say they don't deserve it. They've absolutely battered him. And he's sat there. I've got no confidence in these three people here. Carrick, McKenna and Ollie. They look like the bloody three amigos. They haven't got a clue. I like them, but they just don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. They do not know what they're doing. And that defence, just a joke. Bunch of jokers. Ollie out, I've never said that. Pogba is also a joke, says my secret video. Bet Ollie doesn't make a sub at half-time, says Mickey Hines. He has got to take Jesse Lingard off. Welcome to the Joseph Borg, latest member of the United Stand Members Club. And James Lacey says it really proves how much a difference can make when Arteta has only been the manager for a few weeks and how well he's got Arsenal playing compared to Ollie, who's banging on about the future every week. Murray says, why did our players just stroll after the goal? No anger and no passion. There's no leadership in this team. I mean, I feel sorry for Martial. He's running his arse off up front again with absolutely no service. Ollie out, absolutely poor, no idea, no tactics, being overrun by a worse banter club, dominating all over us, and we have the fan cams to come. I'm disgusted, says Bustin. I feel sorry for Flex. I feel sorry for us as fans again. Every time you get your hopes up and they absolutely screw it up, it's a joke. And I think that, well, no, we've got a chance. We've got a chance to whip across in here, but we do not deserve to be going in anything. I mean, 2-0's generous. I mean, it really could be 3-0, 4-0. If we got a goal back before half-time, I very rarely don't say United don't deserve something, but we don't deserve it. Oh, Harry Maguire on the back post. You are shit, mate. What is wrong with you? His head's gone. It's a free header on the back post. Couldn't finish his dinner. I tell you what, if he was bloody rain, he'd miss the ocean. His unbelievable chance on the back post. How does he miss that chance, Harry Maguire? Whipped in cross. He's on the back post unmarked and he heads it. Oh, catching practice. To you, to me, rubbish. Bloody rubbish. That absolutely sums up the half. Absolute crap. Rubbish. You cannot believe it. I cannot believe that. Rubbish. Every player on that pitch. I can't think of one player apart from probably Martial, James, and maybe Wan-Bissaka. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Let's have a look at your comments because I don't know. I just don't know what to say about that. What do you say about that? Crap. That's what you say. Not good enough. Not good enough by any means. And I said it on the second goal. Invisible defending from Manchester United on the second goal. Solskjaer hasn't got a clue with that selection. Fuck off. That's from my best man who's been a United fan for years. But I tell you what, I totally agree with what everybody's saying. About Pogba, but the point remains that he picked Jesse Lingard tonight. You know, Paul Pogba, whether Paul Pogba wants to leave this club or not, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer picked Jesse Lingard tonight, and anybody who watches Manchester United play football knows that Jesse Lingard in 2019 got no goals and no assists in every Premier League game. You go away to Arsenal and he picks a guy who is absolutely trash just because he does good dance moves on the Emirates when he scores. He is rubbish. Pereira got an assist and was one of our best players in the last game. He gets dropped for the Michael Jackson tribute act. Like, Lingard should not be playing. And I'm not even picking on Lingard. Ollie picked Lingard for what? Are we? Is that our tactical analysis through a week? Oh, remember Jesse Lingard did a dance here a year ago. Oh, let's drop Pereira, who actually got an assist in the last game for the Michael Jackson tribute act. Lingard has got to come off. That is, I wouldn't even give him a 2 out of 10. Awful. Absolutely dreadful. Rashford is looking like he's a player with his head down. Martial's working his socks off and getting nothing. Dan James gets Kolasinac booked in the first 5 minutes and has not had the ball to run at him again. That's shocking tactically. We should be moving the ball out to the right-hand side every chance we can get. Matic is static and just doesn't work in a game like this. He works against Burnley, who are a long ball, slow team. But against a team that wants to get the ball on the ground and move it around, Matic becomes redundant. Fred struggled because he's the only decent player that we've got. Maguire's had the worst game he's ever played for United and then misses a sitter at the end. Lacazette should have scored. You know, we could be 3 or 4-0 down. Lindelof, not on it. Wan-Bissaka, not great. Luke Shaw, not great. De Gea doesn't look on it at all. That second goal, look, the first goal is lucky. Lindelof should do better on the cross. Somebody should track Ozil. The second goal, that cross is not high and nobody attacks it. And it's a tap-in for Kolasinac. It's awful. I know it's banter, but I can see Arteta doing something special. He has something about him, says who, me. KA says Smalling scores that Maguire chance. He's having a shocker, dreadful all round, says KA. Marky says we in 2020, Man United still doing zonal marking on set pieces. It's bollocks. Dawood says Lingard off at half time and Pereira on, and Maguire hasn't had the best game so far. 3 times he had a chance to play the ball to Fred and he wouldn't. Static team. We're a static team. It's not just Matic. And Dio1919 says, I think Maguire needs benching now. I know it's controversial, but his head is just not in it. And he's the captain, mate. Like, as a fan, a lot of you have been saying for weeks that Harry Maguire is not on it. And Ollie's making him the captain. This guy has only been here for 4 months. He's a massive step up to come to Manchester United. Vidic took 6 months to start playing well. We're giving Harry Maguire the captaincy when he's not settled in. I mean, it's just the blind leading the blind. Some of the decisions we're making at that football club, from top to bottom, it's a joke. But You cannot be making Harry Maguire captain when he's not even performing well. And the whole team looks like a team that's, finished. They're not going to get back into this game. I tell you what, if they get back into this game, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer deserves bloody manager of the month and player of the month, because we're not getting back into this game. It's done. And all of us who were saying, we've got to get 2 points behind Chelsea now. Bloody hell. Travis Johnson, not a surprising performance, sadly. A decade of mediocrity and excuses ahead with this board, coach and squad. Can I just remind you, everybody, that Manchester United are not going to sign anybody in January. That's the latest spin coming out. This is despite Scott McTominay being out till mid-February. This is despite Pogba being out until February. This is despite our midfield consisting of Fred, a bag of cement and an invisible man. But we're not going to buy any midfielders. Yeah, this is Manchester United. Shit from top to bottom. I went into this game with positivity, thinking we'd win 5-0. We looked the ones to get beat 5-0, says Charles Crane. Finis King says we need to make a statement by buying at least 4 players in the transfer window. Ollie and the Clowns have got to go. And Red Baron says, don't think we can focus on individuals though. The style of play is non-existent while Arsenal are playing some wonderful stuff. It's coaching, you're right, it is coaching. You know what? Some of these Man United players are not good enough, but actually, you're right. Whether your agenda is with Matic or Shaw or Lingard or Maguire or Martial or whoever it is you want to blame, let's be honest, Arsenal are passing and move. Manchester United are side to side and then a hoofball. It is so bad. Tactically, it is so bad. Ollie has to change something at half-time. Bet he doesn't make a sub till the 75th minute, says Sam A. I think Lingard's got to be sold, hasn't he? I mean, let's be honest. You might want to add some other players in there, but it's just awful. Blaze Jackson says Arsenal started like this against Chelsea. They faded after Lampard made a tactical change, adding an extra midfielder. Can Ollie do the same? I doubt it. Yeah, but Lampard did it after half an hour, Blaze. We're at half-time. Starts with the manager. He's one of the most clueless managers in the league, says Robbo FM. Awful tactics, team selection. Clearly can't motivate the players out. Blaze Jackson, yeah, we've read that one. And Kuan Burke says, I expect a player and formation change. Nothing else will do. If he goes into the second half with the same tactics he's gone into in the first half, we could lose this game 4 or 5-0. It is awful, awful, awful. All over the shop. What I would do with the team that he's put out there, he never should have started Lingard. So Lingard comes off and Pereira comes on. And I think what I would say is look, we don't go gung-ho. We play on the counter-attack. So, we're not going to go gung-ho. What I would say is you've got to get the ball to Dan James against Kolasinac. He's on a yellow card and Dan James run at him. Why didn't we do that again? The second thing, and the goal is totally on Lindelof, by the way. Just watching it back now, it is on Lindelof. And all those people who want to blame Luke Shaw, he's actually got 2 people to mark. It looks like Arsenal are on a training ground, says Polat Gal. This coaching staff has to be moved on. Absolutely no clue how to win football games. We rely on penalties and spectacular moments. This sucks. Says T-Rex, go for it. And Azar says, Atata is already putting his stamp on this team. How long does Ollie still need, says Jeff Allison. And The Bite says, every time we close the gap on top 4, we bottle it. You know what? Arteta may well be exerting his style of play on Arsenal in a very short period of time. But I'm just going to keep saying what I've always said. I mean, Leicester have won again today. They got rocked by Liverpool a week ago. They've bounced back with 2 wins in a row after that. Leicester are unbelievable, right? Brendan Rodgers didn't take over Leicester till February last year, and they've been awesome ever since because he's a good coach. Like, Ollie's been here for over a year, and we still don't have a plan B. He doesn't even play the way he got the job. He used to play a 4-3-3 with a holding midfielder. He now plays 2. Like, how long does this guy need? This corner is a joke. Like, United, invisible is how you describe that goal. It is absolutely shit. Absolutely shit. And people will blame De Gea, but no way should that ball even come to De Gea. They're not marking up. Matic and Lingard in the midfield. We are asking for trouble. Ollie doesn't have a clue. So one-dimensional. Please get him gone, says Josh Collins. I think we're in for a bad week, people, because I think Wolves are going to beat us. I think Man City are going to smash us. I think we're looking at 3 losses in a row unless he produces some sort of tactical genius miracle, which we don't see from this manager. I think that I think we're in for a very, very bad few weeks at Manchester United. I've got Liverpool away in about 2 weeks as well. I mean, it's It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I just cannot understand or accept how Manchester United are losing to Arsenal. It's just... I don't know. Stick a fork in it. We're done. Ollie's got no spine, says Andre, not Giant. Toxic Manchester United fans, says Johan Wagner. Oh yeah, we've got so much to be happy about, haven't we? Go and suck on a lemon. And Greenwood on, please, says Game Guide Vance. Look, if he doesn't make a substitution at half time, then what more can you say? You know, never in a million years do you not make a substitution at half time when you're playing like that? And it's got to be tactical as well. He's got to make the right change. Lingard's got to come off. Is he going to put the fact that he loves Lingard ahead of what's best for Manchester United? Lingard's got to come off. Let's not forget about that. We've got 35,000 people watching. I hope all 35,000 of you are going to tune in for my match reaction straight after the game. We are live till full time. Then I've got my match reaction. Then we've got the fan cams. So match reaction... There's some stuff I'm keeping back because there's no point talking about it now. But join me for that. And make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right-hand corner. You're very welcome. We're live every night at 8 o'clock. We've got fan cams after every game, match reactions, previews, transfer news, call-ins. If you are new to the United Stand, bottom right-hand corner, please do subscribe, get involved. This second half is going to be a very, very painful, potentially superb. I'm trying to find some positives here. Yeah, you know, we did it against Sheffield United, but this is not Sheffield United. This is Arsenal. You know, with a new manager finally getting the bounce, I suppose, and United looking absolutely all over the place. Mojo says we lose today, get knocked out of 2 cups in the next 10 days, and the Liverpool beat us. What chance does Ollie have then? He'll still be here. Mark, once Pep leaves Manchester will be a spent force in football. Mate, all you Arsenal fans, you deserve it. I'll say that, but you're still going to be 4 points behind us tonight. Now, we are shit and we deserve to be losing to you, but you're still going to be 4 points behind us tonight. That's how crap you are. You might have a new manager and you might be thinking Arteta's at the wheel, but you've got a long way back as well. Again, I've said this many times. All we're arguing about is whose shit smells the worst. It's still shit. Lingard 12 months without assist or goal when Greenwood is hungry for goals and Matic instead of Pereira, says Sean Adams. And welcome to Ryan Locke, the latest member of the United Stand Members Club. Remember, you can do that by clicking the join button. It's not the ideal start to a new year, is it? United, New Year's Day night, getting absolutely smashed by Arsenal. Who could have wrote that? Well, we all could, couldn't we? Because it's the reality. United, not good enough. Not good enough by far. Will Ole Gunnar Solskjaer make a change? I hope so. I hope he will, but I'm not so sure. Not so sure. Please shout out George Markham, big United fan, says Roger Watson. Big shout out to you, George. Thanks everyone for watching as well. I'm hungover, I've got a sore throat, and this is not how I wanted to start the year. Meb3 says Saddam Hussein had comical Ali as his delusional propaganda minister. The Glazers have comical Ollie, says Meb3. Topical. Well, not that topical. Saddam's been dead for years. We all expected United to be battling for 4th and 5th place. We had 1 loss in December. We are fielding one of the youngest squads in Europe. Remember to have some perspective. Patience, please, says Fraz77. Fraz, I think you're going to get frazzled with that comment because it's not about patience. It's about tactics. Everybody will be patient, but that's not one of the youngest squads in Europe because Matic is in his 30s, Wan-Bissaka's in his early 20s, Lindelof and Maguire in their mid-20s, De Gea's nearly 30, Luke Shaw's nearly in his mid-20s, Lingard's 27, Fred's in his mid-20s, Rashford and Martial have been playing for years, and Dan James is in his early 20s. That is not a team full of young players. It is a team full of players that we've been seeing for years, and the tactics are not good enough. We can't keep hiding behind it. Fozzy2K3, welcome to the United Stand Members Club. Jeff Allison says, is Ollie the worst manager at managing and expectations, signing, style of football and injuries? Well, from the live comments it appears so. Nobody told me to stop the timer. Mark, is this strategy of our board? Give every manager about 60 million net spend, sack them, get a new manager, spend 60 million again. I don't think even Poch can turn it beyond at this point. No, they need money. And how the hell does Lacazette get a free header at the front post? He didn't even run onto it. Just waited for it, says Sean. Invisible descending, Sean. Invisible defending. And he's kept Lingard on. Absolute shocking. No subs at half time. Absolute joke. Absolute joke. That's your manager. That's your coaching staff. Send the same players out who should have been 4-0 down at half time. That's your coach. That's your manager. His response is to go and send the same team out again with what will probably be the same tactics. If it works, great. But, I mean, it's just... I don't know. Mark, Lingard shouldn't be at the club, never mind in the team, says Ryan Locke. What will it have to be to take Jesse out? Ignore Ollie, Glazers out, then Ollie out. J. Leon, 1980. Why would new players like Fernandes want to come to United? They will look at this and think, what chance do they have of winning anything? Dead club. Happy New Year, Mark. Maybe with all these donations we can sign a new midfielder for United, says Fozzy2K3. I'd love it if we could get hold of United and spend some bloody money. Shaw out, Lingard out, Lindelof out, Matic out, Ollie out, Pochettino in. End, says Abdullah Atali. Zane's here again with a little sticker. And brutally suffering from the static bag of salt in the middle, offering no pass alternatives in the midfield. Lingard is horrendous. Come on to second half. And no substitutions, everybody, in the second half from United. Same old, same old. Second half has started. We're 1 minute 20 in. If you haven't subscribed, bottom right hand corner, by the way, I'll tell you how we're doing for subscribers. You can subscribe by clicking the button in the bottom right hand corner and joining the United Stand. We're live every night at 8 o'clock. We've got the fan cams tonight. Just hold your horses. We are going to have the Arsenal fan TV lot on. It's going to be painful to watch. Oh dear. I told you Ollie wouldn't make a sub at half time. Ollie out, Poch in, says Mickey Hind. Well, he's basically being schooled by a Poundland Pep with a stick on Playmobil hair. That's what Arteta is. He's only just starting his bloody career. Better by Lind. That's just a long ball by Maguire there. Ollie's picking a team like it's FIFA career mode. Can't keep playing Bingard out of favouritism. We've better options, says Connor Dunn. Ciprino says the only positive is that Poch is still available. Get this poison of a coach out of our team now. I just don't see it happening, mate, to be honest with you. They seem to be on a absolute stubborn mission that we've got the right man. Martial, bit of space. It's a lovely ball. Rashford can't get onto the end of it. Frank Sinatra is sending the clowns. He's going to replace Stone Roses as the Old Trafford entrance theme, says Manchester United. Well, look, let's see if we can see anything. You know, he hasn't made any substitutions. Has he made any changes to the team tactically? I think we're trying to press them higher up the pitch. I can definitely see that. But Paracetamol are sponsoring United. At least we'll have something for the pain, says Man U Stu. The Renault King says, I've never been Ollie out, but if we lose to Wolves and Man City, I am Ollie out. And Shafir Zamas says, if you were an up-and-coming player, would you come to Manchester United? Well, look, you know, Erling Haaland turned us down to go to Dortmund. There was no stupid release clause. He turned us down to go to Dortmund because he felt that was better for his career. And, you know, as sad as that is, He's actually right. Soon as it's Pogba's fault, United are 2-0 down, says Red Baron. Well, look, whatever's going on with Pogba is frustrating, but he didn't pick the team tonight. I still think you should be doing better. Akil Kamal says, if every subscriber invested 5,000, we can buy this club. We can only wish. I don't think every subscriber's got £5, let alone 5,000, unfortunately. Surinder Singh, lost for words at what is happening to this club. # Ollie out. Torreira and Lingard are down at the moment. Don't say it. Ollie schooled by a person with a worse CV. Ollie out, says Anthony De Silva. And Ryan Locke says, Mark Lampard changed plans last week on 34 minutes when it didn't work and changed the game and won. Proper manager, ruthless. Ollie out. Ollie's all about his friends. Yeah. I thought the Lingard selection tonight was just ridiculous, and I think many of us have said that. Riola said United would ruin Pele and Maradona, says High Alf Legolas. But he's not wrong, is he? I don't like Riola, but he's actually not wrong. When he says United are run like a business and not a football club, he's only repeating what we say. So, yeah, he's not, I don't like Riola. I think he's bad for football, but he's actually probably got more of an insight to what goes on at United than we do. And we say them things. United on the attack with Luke Shaw. Into Rashford. United are working hard to press. Jesse Lingard's running around a lot. Shame it's not called ball chase, isn't it? Because I think Lingard would be very good at that. But Pereira and Greenwood are warming up. They should have been on at half time, to be honest with you. But Arsenal don't need to attack us. They've got that cushion of 2 goals, haven't they? So, I mean, Fred there, he goes forward. The options aren't great. Wan-Bissaka into Lingard. Dan James ends up going back 20 metres. I mean, if that was a rugby game, you'd be like, that's yardage gained by Arsenal because they pushed us back. And then they win the throw-in. Ollie would never take Lingard off at half-time because he probably feels that it would completely obliterate any confidence he has left, says the contrarian. I don't care. I don't care about Lingard's confidence. Like, you shouldn't have picked him in the first place. This is the thing. If ruthless successful clubs do ruthless things. That's the point. Like, you can't not take somebody off because of their long-term confidence. He's been long-term crap, hasn't he? So, we could get 2-0 is a dangerous score if you get the first goal back. What if Pereira comes on and gets a goal in the first 10 minutes? United getting a lot of the ball at the moment. I think Arsenal are trying to do what we do, hit teams on the break. But remember, they did concede 2 against Chelsea. We get 1 back and they will get nervous. Oh, but they're now on the break. Terrible by Aubameyang. Luke Shaw gives it back to De Gea. I don't like these De Gea ground passes that he does out from the back. It's not really his thing. Mark, I'm confused. I really thought Pogba would play today. I know Mino's been speaking lately and Pogba wants out. I think Pogba drifting in and out of our squad will disrupt the rhythm of the team, says Abdullah Altani. I think picking crap players there doesn't help as well. Here's Rashford on the edge of the box. Dan James, come on. What are you going to do? He's on a yellow card. Not good enough. Christopher Williams, remember Klopp turned United down because it didn't feel right from the vision management standpoint. And the contrarian, yeah, I've read that one. Okay. Michael Jones says that Lingard should be benched. Well, he was benched. He was benched for the last 2 games and then he starts him in a game like this when Pereira actually played well against Burnley. Confusing. We are pressing high up. We are trying to press them high up the pitch, to be fair, but it's just not working. We're not doing great, says Nazim. Fred's going to shoot from distance. Oh, not that good. Not that good. Not that good. Not that good. I'm not going to get that excited about that. I mean, it's on target, but it's catching practice for the keeper. He ain't worried. He ain't worried. So, have you got any confidence United are going to get back? Sacked in the morning, he won't get sacked, Rio. We should try Lingard as a DM so he can break up the opposition's attacks as much as he breaks down ours. He's got a lot of experience, Meb3, to be fair. Ollie out now, he's like a chicken with no head, says Ryan Walden 3, parrot running around, chicken headless, yeah. Mark, I've read that one. And there is no anger left in me on honestly don't care anymore, says Kean Brady. You've got to care. You've got to care. Greenwood's coming on. Pereira's coming on. He should have done this at half-time. He's given him 10 minutes. Adam Co. 99. I'm going to stop watching United till Ollie is gone. Don't stop. You've got to stick with the club. I mean, you can agree. You can say that you don't want the manager and you don't want some of the players, but you can't turn your back on the club. You know, that's basically what Pogba's doing, isn't it? Which, whether he's right or wrong, I think, you know, you shouldn't be doing that. There's going to be a change here. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. It's 2020. If you don't know what the United Stand's all about, we're live every night at 8 o'clock. We've got call-ins. We've got fan cams after the game. We've got the AFTV lot being interviewed by Flex as well. Previews, transfer daily, loads of stuff. Get involved with the community. You're all fantastic. It's the shame the fucking club isn't, but there you go. Bottom right hand corner to subscribe. Please do that. Bottom right hand corner, you can click it, subscribe. You get your notifications when we upload videos then. It's going to be a very interesting video I put up tomorrow lunchtime, actually. I always do a video after the match, and it's called what Goldbridge got right. What Ollie got right or what Ollie got wrong. He got a lot wrong today. Lingard and James off. And Greenwood and Pereira on. I mean, is it enough time? Is it the right environment to throw them in onto? Yes, it is. But it should have happened at half time. I mean, basically, we've wasted 15 minutes of this half before we made that substitution, and it should have happened before that. But it's been done now. It's been done now. Samuel Luckhurst from the Manchester Evening News has tweeted, Martial has not fancied it this half, looks to be intimidated by Luis. And there is your agenda, people. There is your agenda. Anthony Martial's not fancied it. He's absolutely run his socks off. I thought we'd scored. Pereira there. Matic found him, side netting. You know, there is time for United. There is time for United to get back into this. And interestingly, from Simon Stone, who is a very respected BBC Manchester United correspondent, he says, Pogba is in London, no other reason to be there other than to feature in the United squad. Don't know why he wasn't seen with them last night. Don't think many of you will mind now. Developing. There's going to be a lot developing around Manchester United, I think, over the next 24 hours. And wish it was goals. Feels like Ollie ends the game with the team that should have started on the pitch a lot of the time, says Michael Maystar. Sherm Sundar Singh says this is the midfield Ollie was happy with. Any midfielder is better than what we have now. Pogba's unprofessionalism should have been anticipated. And Jose Gonzalez, have you seen Ollie's Mulder speech in Instagram? It makes my blood. I think he told them the same thing before this game. I wanted to vomit. I've not seen it, mate. And Zane says, this is the sequel to Rise of the Skywalker, Rise of Arteta. He's just a giddy Arsenal fan, isn't he? And unfortunately, as United fans, we are pissed off. Matic is the only midfielder doing his job, says Cobras Aikins. Here's Martial. Oh, a bit unlucky there, to be honest. Not really that unlucky. It wasn't that good. You've said it a million times. I'll say it again. Bruno Fernandes. If we should have signed him, Ed Woodward out, Glazers out, says Abdullah Al-Hattani. I think that I have said it many a time, and for those people who don't know what I said that not signing Bruno Fernandes would cost us every week of this Premier League season, and every week of this season it has, because he would have slotted into that number 10 position perfectly. And I just don't know. I mean, look, if United aren't signing players in January, what's the bloody point? You know, what is the point? We're just going to see more and more of these results, unfortunately. But Arsenal this half have not really done anything on the attack. You know, Luke Shaw there is going to get absolutely mullied if they score now. That's it, Aubameyang. Good block by Harry Maguire. Goal kick. That wasn't good from Shaw. I'll put my hands up and say that was crap by Luke Shaw there. He gets caught in possession. I mean, what I would say is he should get a shout from... As somebody who's played football myself, he's blind to that player coming at him. He should be getting a shout. And where's the pass for him? Where's the midfield? You know, it's not good by Luke Shaw. I'll put my hands up. You know, I do like Luke Shaw. He shouldn't be getting caught in possession there. But where's the shout from somebody to say man on? And where are the passes for him? There's nobody there. He's in the centre circle as a left back and there's no one to pass to. Ryan Nelson's coming on now. He's a tricky customer, so it's not going to get any easier for Luke Shaw. I think Pepe will come off. Simon Beach says, stop moaning and whining, everybody, and support your team. Simon, it's totally up to you how you support your team. Don't tell anybody else how they do it, though, mate. Like, you know, if you think you should sit at home with your Man United pants on, swinging your little, what do they call him, rattle, that's great. That's your life. If everybody else is brave enough to say that this is totally unacceptable and we're a shit football club and we should be doing a lot better, then I'll sit with them lot. But you know what? Each to your own. It's all about opinion. Welcome to Abdullah Al-Thani, latest member of the United Stand Members Club. And Ollie's making the worst Arsenal side in the Premier League era look like invincibles, says Soprino. If we'd signed Bruno, he would be on the bench for Lingard. Keeps picking him despite his terrible goal and assist record, says Cobb Ross Aikins. Whatever happens tonight, and I know there's a bigger picture going on with Pogba, but whatever goes on tonight, and Lindelof's getting really mad with the midfield there, and he's right, because they're getting swamped as defenders. We're just absolutely clueless. Absolutely clueless. This is embarrassing. Arsenal are pressing us because nobody wants the ball. Disgusting from United. Absolutely disgusting. Good run by Martial here. Lay it off! Oh, lay it off! Good run by Martial there, but he got it to Rashford, who should have just laid it off to the edge quick, but he holds on to it too long. It's Rashford's big weakness, we know. He doesn't have that awareness sometimes to lay it off quick. Anyone says that we're playing better now to lose when you're 2-0, which actually makes it worse, says Phil Warnett. Dazzo W, what's with staff giving Greenwood wee tactic book to look through? Tell him what to do. Stood there himself flicking through it. I didn't see that. So we've got 25 minutes to go. And I don't really think we've created a decent chance again. Thought it was a good tackle by Harry Maguire there. Tom Jefferson says this is going to be a bad month for Manchester United. I think it's got that potential to go really bad or really well. I think a couple of weeks ago we were thinking it's going to go really well because we've got the Man City games, the Liverpool away, Wolves in the Cup. But we could come out of January in a bloody mess, to be fair. How is the ref not giving us fouls there? I mean, I know we've not been great, but that was surely a foul. But they're up for it, Arsenal. They are. They're hungry. They're biting into tackles. They're revolutionised, energised. Sorry, they're up for it. We're just such a dull side when we can't hit teams on the break. We've got no other way of playing. It's shit. I don't think we play this bad if McMayo was fit. Have to sign a centre midfielder. Everyone can see. Need one except Ed the Clown to Sion House. I totally agree with you, Sion. Totally agree with you. But the rumour are that we're not going to buy anybody in January, which is just appalling. Absolutely appalling. It really is. But there's no improvement in the second half as well. It's the same tactics. The same tactics as the first half. We are the Arsenal and we are back, says MUFC. I don't think you will. Watch your next game. You'll probably lose that. But as I said, we always struggle against the teams from the bottom half. And we've struggled again. We just can't get past these teams who are shit. But Pereira's done more. I don't even think Pereira's that good, but he's done more in 5 minutes than Lingard did in 55. I'm so glad I don't have BT, says Cian Brady. And Connor Dunn says, laying it off isn't Rashford's weakness. He just doesn't trust anyone around him, and rightly so. Simply not enough quality in our squad. Signings are crucial. Not enough quality, not enough coaching, not enough desire, no leadership. I mean, it's a recipe for inconsistency, and that's what we are. I think we all hope that we're going to find some consistency. Like, you know, we hoped that we were going to come into this game and win 3 in a row, and it's always just hope, 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 hope. Kolasinac has gone down injured there. Still 23 minutes to go. Saka coming on for Kolasinac. He has been playing at left back. It's hard, isn't it? It's hard to find words because the words have already... When you've said it so many times before, you're just repeating yourself. It's the same old thing. And look, Pogba will be a big talking point, but realistically, should Paul Pogba be the reason and the focus point? No, he shouldn't. Oh, that's lovely by Martial again. Get a shot off, Fred. Hunger there, you see, from Fred. Wan-Bissaka. Oh, well. Let's have a bit of VAR on this, I think. Mark, when Scotland becomes independent, Manchester can join Scotland as your football is not good enough for England, says Amiasi. Let's watch this back. Wan-Bissaka goes down. Well. No, he ain't going to get a penalty for that. He ain't going to get a penalty for that, I don't think. 20 minutes to go. Yeah, what I was saying is, though, I mean, look, Pogba's going to be the big story because, you know, whatever you think about Paul Pogba, there is an agenda, and there always has been an agenda from the mainstream media. So they will love to pin it on Paul Pogba. And I'm not saying that there might not be a story there, but they've done it even when it was unfair to do it. So, but for me, we haven't had Pogba for 3 months. We forced Pogba to stay here. You know, to pin this on Paul Pogba tonight is to totally ignore the fact that he is one player in the most expensive squad in the Premier League, and it's awful. You know, it's awful coaching, it's awful team selections, it's awful players, and that's not just because of Paul Pogba. So that's what I would say. Go and get mad about whatever angle you want to go with Paul Pogba, but it's not. That's just an excuse to me. That is an excuse. It's not the reason why we're losing tonight. Mark, when I see this Arsenal team play football today, it looks like Arteta's been working with them for a year. Solskjaer's been in the job for a year and a half, and he looks like he just come yesterday, says Abdullah Atani. See, Arsenal are playing Crystal Palace on Saturday in the FA Cup. Some good games in the FA Cup, actually. Matic. Corner. It's the Muppet Show, says Mike. Well, United have got a corner here. Well, let's not forget Harry Maguire missed an absolute sitter from a cross right on half-time that would have made it 2-1. I'd like to say United have been much improved in the second half. I don't think they have. I just think that Arsenal have decided that they've got a 2-0 lead and they're going to defend it and hit us on the break. I think if they'd attacked us, they might have got more. Worst thing about this, Ollie let Herrera go, says MUFC for life. I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did let Herrera go, to be fair. I think that Herrera went because, as he said as well, another ex-player said, we're run like a business, not a football club. Nice little layoff there into Greenwood. Oh, he did get the shot off as well, but Leno makes the save. This is why I would have played Greenwood over Dan James. You know, there's no doubting that Dan James is a speed merchant, but Greenwood just seems to make things happen. And if we could, I tell you what, if we could somehow get a goal back in the next 10 minutes, Arsenal would absolutely shit themselves in the last 10 minutes. But I just don't know. Right, here's Greenwood. Greenwood up against Saka's an interesting one, though. Fred into Wan-Bissaka on the right-hand side. Nice. Whip it, whip it. Good cross. Oh, I thought Rashford was going to get that like he did against Newcastle. That was decent, and it's a good header away by Socrates. We need a goal now, says Charlie 1-1. We do, but that was good by Martial and Wan-Bissaka, and it's a good cross. And I mean, Rashford's not going to beat Socrates there, but we do have a corner. When Matic is one of your best players, it's bad, says Kuhn. But I think Matic has played well second half. I thought he was atrocious first half, like most of the team, but second half he's been okay. But having said that, that's because Arsenal have just sat back and soaked up. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're trying to get up to 609,000 today. We're on 608. I can tell you we are currently 300 off. So bottom right hand corner to subscribe and join the community. We're live every single day at 8 o'clock. Punched away by Leno. Luke Shaw's got it on back post. Whips it in. And Harry Maguire now. 15 minutes to go. It ain't looking good, is it? It's not looking good. We need a little bit of luck just to force a goal and then get Arsenal nervy. Whip it, Fred. Whip it. Who wants it? Leno's punching again. He bloody punches that one. He missed it against Chelsea, didn't he? No, Fred's just been done by Ozil, but it's okay. We've got cover back with Wan-Bissaka. Minang Jamir says, Mark, what can we do as a fan to reach our message to Ollie board regarding transfers, all these daily transfer shows? Would anyone from the board see or hear our voice? They do listen to Manchester United fans, but they just don't act on it, to be honest with you. This loss has masked our amazing Fred has been, unfortunately, says Justice. I thought Fred was a bit dodgy first half, but I think second half he's played well. I think he's been the best midfielder on the pitch. I think you're right. There's an Arsenal player down injured at the moment. Herrera. "15 minutes to go, and there's nothing to kick you in the nuts more than losing to Arsenal, is there? There's just nothing. Absolutely nothing. It hurts. The players are too far apart from each other in possession, says Bruce Lee, making it difficult to play quick 1-2 passes. This has to be down to the coaching. I also think, Bruce, that and everybody else at home, we just don't have the players. We don't have the players to play that sort of football. We don't. I think there's so many times with United where you say that they're confused and they're clumsy on the ball, and I think a lot of that comes down to the fact that they're just not actually that good on the ball. So yeah. Mid-table club, says Snaggletooth. Well, I said that in November, that we need to accept that we're a mid-table club, and if you look at the games we won, well, we beat Spurs and City, but Spurs aren't that good. I mean, he's lost to Southampton today. I think Spurs are not actually that good this season. So beating Spurs at Old Trafford, I think the big result was the Man City one, and that was a good performance. But, you then get beat by Watford. Everton get a draw, which is just unbelievable. Villa get a draw as well. And then you beat Burnley and Newcastle. And those, that Newcastle game was error-strewn from Newcastle, to be honest with you. Good chance there by Lacazette. He's put it wide after a good run by Aubameyang. At least Chelsea lost to Southampton, says Brian Caker. Do you really think we're in a top 4 race? I mean, we can be, but it's only because everybody else is so shit. Arsenal could get back in a top 4 race. They'll think they can do it now because Spurs lose, Chelsea lose, United lose, Wolves lose. They've made 3 points up on everybody. It's just a terrible season. Below Leicester, Man City and Liverpool, it is absolute trash. And you never know who's going to beat anybody. 12 minutes to go, though. Can United find a goal? Arteta is taking the Norwegian PE teacher back to school, says Razagul. Possession-based tactics are what United need, not relegation counter-attacking. Wan-Bissaka keeps it in. Nobody attacking the cross again. That's just lazy from front three there. You've got to attack it. You've got to attack that space. Xhaka, he's attacking the space. Easy save for De Gea. It's the same thing all over again. We don't get up for the smaller teams. We only get up for the top teams, says Broski R. Pull ball by Greenwood. Torreira wins it. See, that's pass and move from Arsenal there. It's so easy. They just pass and move and they're running. And who's going with Ozil here? Who's going with Ozil here? It won't matter. Well, Lacazette's messed it up. Nelson. I tell you what, it's a good job he didn't look left because Fred just wasn't going to track Ozil, who's no speed merchant. It's gone a little bit end to end here. But Arsenal still have kept 6 back. They ain't stupid. Happy New Year, X Tyler. Yeah, there will be a match reaction straight after this. I won't be holding back on it either. I mean, I've taken plenty of notes and we will give player ratings as well. And I'll tell you what, it's worth watching for what I'm going to give Lingard and a couple of others. Guendouzi's coming on for Arsenal with 10 minutes to go. He'll give them some energy in the midfield. I mean, the sad thing for United is we don't actually have a midfielder to bring on. I think Matic is coming off for Mata. Just embarrassing. You take off a centre defensive midfielder for Juan Mata. So our tactical change to try and get back in the game is with 10 minutes. Of course, Mata's not going to play as a centre defensive midfielder. That's not what I'm saying is embarrassing. We've gone more attacking, but this could have happened 20 minutes ago, not now. But as I said, if we could just nick a goal, maybe they'll get nervous. But we haven't really created anything. I've got to be honest, Lacazette's now having a little bit of cramp, but we haven't created anything in this half. And you know, there's not been one clear-cut chance where you can go, oh, that was close, or oh, that was a good bit of build-up play. And this, unfortunately, is something that is happening week in, week out with United. It's the same old, I suppose, shit. But at some point, well, you know, I mean, as I said, if you're going to go into this January transfer window and you're already leaking to the press, we're not going to sign anybody, and then you've got two of your best midfielders out for God knows how long, and you've just been beaten comprehensively by a team like Arsenal, and you're still sat there going, "Oh yeah, we're not actually going to buy anybody." It's massively concerning. From a Manchester United fan perspective. And the thing is, all this talk of future and getting better, and people, you know, are buying into that. And the reality is, I and many other people have said it's probably going to get worse. Like, if you think now is bad, it's probably going to get worse. And, you know, how is exactly what some people would say. How can it get any worse? But it's going to get worse because the squad is getting worse. The money that's being spent on the squad is getting less. The coaching is definitely getting worse. You can't have all these contributing factors and expect a miracle. We're just not good enough. And I think even Arsenal fans were not expecting this tonight. And they certainly were not expecting it to be this easy. And that's why they're so giddy. Martial again trying to force his way past like 10 players. I mean, how somebody can say that Martial was not, has bottled it tonight. He's a couple of times in this game, he's actually tried to do it single-handedly. And you just can't. You just can't do it single-handedly. Fred bringing it forward. Arsenal are hosed and dry. It's not like the Chelsea game. And remember, Chelsea did score with a while to go. Who's going to track the Aubameyang run? Ozil. Maguire's got it. But it's been a very defensive display from Arsenal in the second half, which is something they'll be very happy with because they're not, known for being that good defensively, but they've just had to just sit back. I think one thing Arteta would have said, all United know how to do is hit you on the break. As long as we sit back, they've got to try and pass their way through us, and they can't do that. They haven't got the players to do that. We know it as fans that we haven't got the players to do it. So, it's been a walk in the park, a walk in the Emirates Park for Arsenal thus far, and I don't see it's going to change, to be honest with you. Just haven't got enough creativity in that team, and the coaching is lacking. Abdullah Abdhani says, Mark, give us your opinion. Are you satisfied with Pogba's half committing to the club? You're either in or you're out. I think we should suffer without him playing. Playing him makes us look weak. It's just the same as Watford. Arsenal want it more, says Jack Brown 852. And I think if you do want it more against United, you're probably going to get it. It's as simple as that. With regards to Pogba, I mean, I'll talk about Pogba on my match reaction. I'm happy to do that. But I do think as well it's a smokescreen, and I think it's going to be the big story. And I think that's a big shame, because I don't see that Paul Pogba actually is relevant to the shower of shit we've seen tonight. Like, Pogba wanted to go in the summer and the club forced him to stay. Look, you can not like Pogba for that, but he did tell them he wanted to go, and Woodward and co said, no, you're not going, you're staying. And then they expected the player to go, all right, I'll stay, I'll do my best, I'll stay fit all year. it doesn't always work like that. If you keep a player that's not happy, there is a risk that they may be destructive. And it was the risk that Manchester United took with Paul Pogba. I think it was a bad mistake to make. And ultimately, it's one that is going to cost us big time. Because it's already cost us because he hasn't played much this season, has he? So yeah, I think that United have handled the Pogba thing badly, but why would that surprise anybody? United handle the situation badly again. United handle players badly. It's not just signings that we handle badly. Look at Herrera; he walked away. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me that United are in this situation, and I keep saying this, and other people have said it as well. United, from top to bottom, are a badly run club. And until we realise that, until that changes, more importantly, which it won't, we are going to stay a bad club. No doubt. I'm sad to say. But, Arsenal got about 5 minutes to go here. Fred... deflection, corner. I think we're in that position. I think we're in that state now. I don't know what you lot think. I don't see a miracle happening for United, and I don't actually think. Well, we definitely don't deserve it. There's no question about that. We don't deserve to get back in the game, and I don't think we will. Because I think we are absolutely clueless. And it'll be very interesting to see what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has to say about the reasonings for this today. Here's Aubameyang, and he's overplayed the pass to Nelson, thankfully. Now United, Greenwood puts it into Rashford. Rashford's had a very, very quiet game today, hasn't he? And again, he's given the ball away. I mean, look, Marcus Rashford will never stop running. He will never stop running for United, and that's not in question. But he's not had a very good game today. Was that about Rashford there? Rashford gets lower than Lingard for me, says David JS. There's a lot of people on social media not happy with Rashford tonight. Lingard starting the game is equally as bad as Mourinho playing McTominay at centre-back at West Ham last year, says Marky. I agree with you on that. Ronaldo wanted to leave. We made him stay a year. We reached the Champions League signing final, says Abdullah Al-Thani. Yeah, look, you run the risk though, don't you? You do run the risk with a player. You never know how a player's going to react to that. And also, we let Lukaku threw his toys out the pram and got his move. Pogba, went on tour, played on tour, acted professionally and didn't get his move. Marky, Lingard starting this. Yeah, we've read that one. MUFC for life. Twitter is going to be heavy tonight with Ollie in and Ollie out tonight. Heavy trend so far. Work needs to be done. Players need to be signed. Well, if we're not going to sign the players though, what's going to happen? Ryan Lott, you just you're delaying the inevitable that Ollie will be sacked if you don't buy in players. And they fucked up with Haaland. Haaland was a player that Ollie wanted. He didn't get him. Mark, would Pochettino still actually want our manager job? Our club is a mess, top to bottom. What if he says no? Possibility. I think with the next manager we go for, hopefully they would be strong enough to say, I'm not taking that job unless you give me 300 million to spend. That you need that money. If you're not getting the money, you don't take the job. I feel for Martial, the clueless media will give him more criticism than Lingard for this game, says Ninja Smurf United. Well, exactly, they're just idiots. Absolute idiots. Look at our squad in January 2010 versus January 2020. That's what a full decade of Glazers and Woodward gets you. Where will we be in another 10 years, says Sean Finity. Well, it's been easy work for Arsenal this second half. I don't know how long they're going to add on because we're just about to hit the stoppage time, but under no pressure at all. They've been absolutely comfortable. It's actually been a really boring second half, hasn't it? Let's be honest. That resignation you get as a United fan, and that comfortable. I don't even know if if we've got any Arsenal fans watching, have you been comfortable second half? You know, it's very rarely, I suppose, being an Arsenal fan that you ever trust your defence. But I can tell you, as a United fan, you should have done. Guendouzi going forward here. I mean, it'd be icing on the cake for them if they can get another goal. Remember, we will have the fan cams coming up afterwards, and we'll definitely have the Arsenal Fan TV lads. They'll be queuing up to come on, to be honest with you. You can subscribe, bottom right hand corner. If you subscribe to the channel, bottom right hand corner, it's free. You get your notifications when we upload a video. Well, you should actually, if you are a subscriber, if you click on your subscribe button, you can then click the bell and get ticket to get all notifications when we upload. So we will have fan cams going up tonight. Obviously Rance is going to be there and some of the United boys, and obviously we'll get the AFTV lads on. My match reaction is going to be straight after this. The link is actually in the video description. I'll be doing my player ratings and I won't be holding back. David Luiz is now being a cheerleader because they've won a game of football. I love it when players do that. You lost at the weekend against your old club, mate. You've lost to Brighton at home, but because you're winning a game, oh, let's be a cheerleader. And fans respond to it, don't they? Go and do it every week. Even the German flounder have looked good tonight, says Strutzen. Arteta is better than Ollie, get a proper manager in, says Armand. And Paul Banks, Arteta schooling Ollie after 3 games in charge. I mean, that's true. That is true. I can't lie about that. It is true. And you wonder why Bruno and Haaland turned us down, says Ian Carlton. I think he did turn us down as well. If you read that article on the United Stand website, he did turn us down. I think that's what he's basically saying without naming us. Oh, we nearly scored there at the end. Rashford, lovely little ball it was. I think it was Mata. Fred, we've got a free kick late on here. You see, by the time Rashford sets this free kick up, it'll be game over. It's a lovely ball by Mata. And Leno does really well. Don't know why Rashford didn't head it. You see, look at this though. It's 93 minutes. You've got to take the free quick. And Rashford doesn't actually fancy it. It's going to be Fred or Pereira. You've got to be quick. What are they having a chat about? There's a minute left. Take the fucking free kick. He's blown the whistle. Get on with the free kick. Could be a good free kick here. Fred. Oh, my life. God. Cut that. Cut that out. It could be a good free kick here. He's put it into White Hart Lane. It's that shit. That is awful, mate. That just sums up our night. It's one of the worst free kicks you'll ever see. Dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. Rashford is going to get a low mark from me, and I'm a big fan of Marcus Rashford, but it's not. You can't just give players a low mark just because you don't like them, like Lingard. He's been consistently bad. I'm a big fan of Rashford, but I think he's been really, really poor. And the referee has blown the final whistle there. Arteta's happy. The Emirates is happy. Of course it is. We will have fan cams coming in, so make sure you subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. But I'm going to be doing my match reaction and my player ratings. The link's in the video description. I'll see you over there in about 60 seconds time. We'll be digesting this shit show from Manchester United. We'll be doing the player ratings and talking about what 2020 is likely to bring for Manchester United. We'll also be talking about this Paul Pogba stuff. Lots to talk about in relation to that. Links in the video description. I'll see you in a minute.